Warning, the following contains material that may be too disturbing to some people. Descriptions of violence, mature situations, and adult themes. This is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, we're live. Episode 62 of Force of Flesh, and we caught Ella without her cam up and going today. That spoke too soon.
I had it up. I forgot to turn on video on Discord.
Well, I hope you guys have had a good week. Let's talk about what happened. What happened last session? You guys are hanging out in the Master's Palace, right? Why don't we talk a little bit about what you guys did? Ishu and Vash hatched their plan, right?
Just talking about, we didn't do nothing. We slept.
You slept, okay.
Completely innocent.
You guys didn't take a trip down to the dungeons or anything like that?
Doesn't sound familiar.
The only place they took a trip down was Memory Lane. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so you guys went down the dungeons. You found somebody down there. Well, you passed up Orlan on the way, right? And then Faya started trying to tattle on you guys.
Of course.
Yeah. But at least you didn't catch the attention of guards or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys found a way down into the dungeons. And Wolf, what happened while you're down there?
Well, Wolf prepared a very elaborate scheme that was not needed because we just kind of went down there like, hey, this is easy. We did manage to find a sort of reptilian creature of humanoid stature that Vash was able to talk with a little bit, although taking a little bit of a singe for his efforts.
Yeah, I mean, he was in a room that was on fire, right? There's that.
Well, or he was on fire and the room was also on fire because of it. But, yeah, there was a little bit of discussion. He seemed to be a prisoner of some sorts. He seemed to not have all of his memories or faculties about him. Unless he is a very good liar, which is possible. And Vash basically promised to eventually come back and free him. Because he seemed like a powerful sort, and Vash has some ideas of what his identity might be.
All right. Right on.
Eventually.
Eventually, right.
Eventually. Very, very important word there.
All right. Sha'ah, what did you get up to last session? Birdie, are you there? Kyo, Odayn, what did you get up to last session?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, all right.
Sha'ah's been doing shenanigans. It's like, so he finished his clothes and he finally showed it up to Orlan. The only thing is that Orlan was like ritually casting something and she couldn't be bothered. So Faya was like her voice. In a way, unfortunately, Faya got hit by one of Sha'ah's unarmed strike.
Unfortunately.
Vash told Sha'ah to hit it, so it's
Hey, Sha'ah's the one that did it. Nope. That's not how that works.
Sha'ah got pressured by Vash.
Yeah.
Peer pressure. Such a bully.
Yeah.
Relation.
All right. Well, Odayn, you and Melora ended up bumping into Vash and Ishu after their ordeal, I guess. What else did you get up to last session, Odayn?
After we bumped into Vash and Issue, we started debated whether to enter that room because Melora basically wanted to kill it. And then after that, we decided not to go in, but we did find a chest of potions that we decided to eventually share with the group.
Eventually.
Eventually.
Almost totally forgot about that.
Yeah, you guys found all those cool potions. Yeah.
And I think after that, we went back to the room with Orlan. And yeah, I think we're deciding what to do now.
Well, you ended up trying to meditate and then succeeding, right?
Right.
And we talked in between sessions about some stuff that you remembered. You can go over that now if you like, or you can just like not, and we can let it come out in character.
Yeah, I think I was going to let it come out in character.
Okay. All right. So if I recall, I said when we left off last session that we could have you guys like skip forward in time, and if there was stuff that you guys wanted to do during like a downtime, if there's anything that needed a couple days, like if you're wanting to craft something, that we could do that. Is that what you guys want to do, or is there something you want to do in character that you need to do like now?
Vash has one thing to do in character. But I did already make rolls for the days that we were... I think it was 3 days, right?
Yeah, I was going to allow like 3 days or... I mean, it depends on what you guys want to do. Like, if there's something you're wanting to do that's going to take a week, I could allow for that.
Jane
I
doesn't have anything.
think there was a couple things that we were gonna do later in the day of the one we roleplayed out last week. Like Orlan was gonna talk with Melora, and I think Sha'ah was gonna give Orlan the outfit or
Yeah.
talk to Orlan about the outfit now that she's not casting her spell anymore.
Fair enough. Okay. All right.
Lyram would continue to explore the libraries if we're doing more stuff before we meet with Ubermaw.
Okay. Yeah. There's all kinds of books. Let's see here. Let me just grab everybody here. Yeah, that's everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Lyram's already upstairs. Okay. And I'm just gonna place you guys all on the 3rd floor. And I mean, I might just be like, let's see what you guys want to do here. Like, just turn you loose, basically. Just have you guys all on the same floor, so if you want to do stuff, you can.
Is it safe to assume that when Orlan talked to the Summer Eladrin during breakfast that that person didn't know anything about her family either?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Are we starting off right where we left off when we were in the room downstairs, or what? Are we doing the time skip already?
Well, we ended last week's session with we all went up for breakfast.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, I think the last thing we saw was you guys like leaving the dungeons.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But I mean, if you want, I can just put everybody. I kind of just wanted to put like, because Lyram's upstairs going through the library. I kind of just want to like have everybody on screen together. Basically, is what I was getting at. Lyram doesn't need to eat breakfast, right? Does Lyram need
Nope.
to eat? Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. Let me see here. Let me see here. I guess I can just put Lyram in the library. And
I guess if we're starting off where we left off, Odayn wouldn't have meditated yet until at least tonight, the next night. So.
okay. All right. Well, in that case, I will grab the rest of you guys, and I will bring you to the kitchen, and we'll say that you guys are just arriving after coming up the stairs to the kitchen. Lyram has made his way over to the library since you guys have been downstairs. And let me just paste you guys in here.
Is the kitchen's on the first floor, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Is that a problem?
Nope, I don't think Odayn. I think Odayn would just take the chest of potions with him because he's carrying it around.
Okay. Do you not? Do you go to the kitchens with everybody else to get breakfast, or?
I think it was Odayn who was the one who was starting to tell everyone to get breakfast.
Okay. Just making sure. If you don't want to go, you don't have to. All right. And where is my? There we go. All right. So we fade back in to the inside of the kitchen as you guys come pouring through the doors. How are you carrying the the potion case, Odayn? Is it just like strapped to your back, or like you have a rope that you tied to it and like slung it over a shoulder? What's going on there?
Isn't it just like a box?
Yeah, it's like a little
was-
wood crate.
I was just gonna carry it.
Okay.
Like in front of me.
Sure. So yeah, so we see you guys one by one come through the door. Vash, do you still have the wildfire spirit out?
It would have lasted for an hour, so it depends on how soon this is after the misadventure.
I don't think it's been a full hour yet. Yeah.
Sure. It's just sitting on his shoulder then. Yeah.
Cool.
When we exited, before going to this room, when we exited, did the guards say anything when they see me carrying this box?
You came up.
But
Go ahead, Ella.
we came up from this.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you're in the altar room. Yeah. So
Yeah.
You would have come up from that staircase there.
Gotcha.
So the guards have not seen you yet. The summer Eladrin, not fire Eladrin, the summer Eladrin, hasn't said anything. But she kind of like regards you guys as you pass by and probably goes back to cooking some food. She's like humming to herself as she cooks. And I'm guessing Orlan approaches her. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, Orlan will be like, I set up an altar downstairs for our Lord Oberon. If you want to check it out sometime.
She like quirks an eyebrow. And she turns over to you and she says, "Oh, our Lord Oberon. She kind of smiles slightly. And then she just kind of watches your face for reaction for a moment. And then she kind of nods and she says, I think I will have to have a look. Thank you. Is there anything you would like to
Of
eat?
course.
She like gestures to the fire.
You have a taste of home.
She kind of like she puts like a finger up to her chin. She like looks up, squints her eyes, and she says, "I think I have just the thing." And she like goes to a pantry and she reaches down, she pulls out some flour, and then she reaches over into a barrel and you see like some fruit, some fresh fruit, Faywildian fruit, and she's gonna start making some stuff. She says, have you ever had a good home cooked like fruit pie?
My chef made one. Does that count?
She goes, "Oh, you have a chef."
Your chef what?
I mean, back home.
And she kind of like quirks an eyebrow and she says, and she looks at you. Do you have like a family crest that's visible? I know you have that. You had that ring or whatever, right?
Yeah, she has her signet ring.
Let's see. Let's see if she can get a look at the ring. Are you wearing it?
Yeah, she's always wearing it.
She like looks you up and down, and then she turns back to the flour, and she's like starting to get stuff together to make like dough or whatever. And she says, what house?
Favyre.
And she kind of nods and she says, interesting. Do you know if any made it out?
I'm still looking.
And she says, well, there's always hope until you know for sure.
Are you from a house?
She shakes her head. She says, no. We weren't nobles, my family.
In service to one?
She kind of pauses for a moment. Let's see here. She says, you could say that, I suppose.
I see.
She's trying to hide something. I think you can tell. Like either she doesn't want to talk about it, or there's something going on. You can make an insight check to see how much you can pick up on if you like.
Sure. Find the button. There it is. Oh, whoops. That was... I don't know why I have that toggled.
It's a 3.
It's supposed to be a 3. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to say what's going on there. She clammed up a little bit when you started asking her questions.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a nat 1?
Yeah, it is. That one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. She seems normal. She's no, it all checks out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is this pie a specialty of yours, or is it a common recipe?
She kind of grins and she says, "Oh, you don't give a common recipe to a noble."
I meant common among chefs.
She says, "Should be. I mean, it's a fruit pie, albeit a fancy one." She's like got like a rolling pin out, and she's like rolling dough out. And she like reaches and she pauses for a second, looks at it, and then she opens a cabinet, and like pulls out something looks like sugar. I don't know if they really have sugar in the Feywild.
I'm sure there's some kind of sweet thing.
Yeah. So it's like a just a burlap sack that's full of like brown like powder and crystals. Well, it's like brown sugar. And she like grabs a bunch of it and starts sprinkling it in in the center. And then she pauses and thinks for a second. And she goes and grabs another ingredient. She grabs like some kind of syrup. It's stored in like a small keg. It's almost like an ale keg, but it's probably like, I don't know, 8 to 10 inches tall. It's got like a little stopper on the bottom of it, and she like unplugs
There's
it.
a little keg of honey.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And she like pours a little bit of it onto it, and she like grabs the fruit, which is just like a sorted bunch of different fruits, and she pulls them over and she kind of like mashes them down, and then like puts them in, and she like starts like folding the dough up around it, and she says, "It should be ready in well, a few minutes, maybe half an hour."
Okay.
She goes, "Your friends want anything?" Like gestures over, and you turn over, and there's a freshly shaved Sha'ah standing there.
Orlan ignores Sha'ah and will go and like try and go a little bit past Sha'ah and call out to Odayn and Melora. Do you guys want anything?
What kind of stuff are they serving?
Well, you know, she's making me a fruit pie from Feywild recipe.
Ooh, can we have some?
I think there should be enough for everyone. Do you want anything else?
Some mates.
Whatever they have.
Melora's like, "I'll take a cup of water," and Ishu goes, "Does she have like raw pig?"
Hey, Shu.
What?
At least have it be cooked.
No.
Orlan will go back
out.
in and say, the best water that you have. I think one of my companions might be interested in other Feywild foods if you have any, or just anything that you have. And another one wants a whole raw pig.
A whole pig? Really? She kind of shrugs.
He's a lot.
Yeah, she's.
You are what you know. He's a pig.
All right. Well, I'll see what I can do. Surely should be able to find something. As for the water, we have some fresh spring water. That should be able to suffice. And yeah, she goes back to like pulling various things out of different pantries. You don't see like there's no hooks where there's like hanging meat in here, but maybe it's like tucked away somewhere.
Probably too warm in here for meat to just be hanging.
yeah. Fair point. Yeah.
Melora, I've got a question.
Okay. What is it?
We've seen you conjure water out of thin air, tidal waves. Why would you even need water?
She kind of smiles. She says, "Well, I don't need it. But I just figured I'd see what they have. Maybe I can learn something from it."
From the water.
She nods. She says, "Well, water can tell you a lot about a place. It's different everywhere."
Such as...
Oh, well. It can tell you what kind of creatures are in the area. It can tell you how rich and fertile the soil is. It can tell you lots of things. Whether it's salt water or fresh water.
I don't imagine they'll be serving you salt water when you asked for some to drink. Just a guess.
She nods. And she says, well, it can also be used as... She kind of squints. A reflective pool of sorts.
How do you tell these things? Is it just by taste?
No, it's magic. She says, it can... If you know how to use it right, it works similar to a crystal ball. You just have to know how to gaze into it.
Interesting. That's all.
Yeah, she pulls up a seat, and so there's like Ishu and Melora sitting at a table, and there's like an open stool there. All right. You guys sit. All right. Why don't we cut over to Lyram? Why don't we just put Lyram on the same floor since there's a library right here? Okay. You go grab him off the off the third floor. There we go. Okay. And
Lyram is going to go through the library and kind of comb it for any sort of books on, the obvious music and magic, but also on any sorts of technology and runes.
okay. Let me pull you over here, Odayn. Just so we can see. So we fade into we can crossfade the scene over to a library where there's a bunch of dusty books. There's an old-looking Gith sitting at a table with a bunch of papers on it. There's stuff written on them. It's not in common, so we can't read any of it. And he's wearing these long, like dark gray robes. And he's got like a quill in his hand. There's like an inkwell on the desk. And he's just like curiously watching Lyram as he's like running around just looking at all the various books. After like this, we just watch Lyram like going through shelves and picking things up and looking at them for a minute or so. And then the guy says, "Is there anything I can help you find?"
I'm looking for books.
He like stands up really slowly, and he says, "Well, I suppose you've come to the right part of the palace. Any kind of book in particular?"
Books on music. Music and magic.
He nods.
Quite similar if you think about it.
Yeah, he says, yes, I've heard that somewhere. He steps up to one of the shelves and he kind of like runs a finger along the edges of the books. He's like dust come off in the air. And he says, there was something we had by a particularly talented bard. Let me see if I can find it for you. Music and magic. And he says, oh, here it is. And he pulls off a book. And he kind of like, and there's like dust comes off of it, and the pages are like, the tips of the pages are like yellowed and frayed. It's kind of thin. It's, it's probably like 100 or 200 pages. It's hard cover. And there's nothing on the cover. It's just like a hard black cover. But on the spine of the book, it says in common, it says, music is the strongest form of magic. And it says and then it says, it's like, colon, a journal for musicians. And then he like opens it up, and he kind of like flips through the pages. More like dust comes out. And then he kind of like makes a face like he seems satisfied with whatever he sees, and he closes it, and he starts to walk towards you. And he says, there's this book here. Like holds it out.
Lyram looks at the book and then he'll hold out his hand to take it.
So you open it up, and the first thing you see is mostly blank lined pages for like notes. And you're like flipping through it, and it's like, oh, this is a blank book. And then there's like 12 pages of blank like sheet music where you can like write in your own music. And then the tail end of it is like a hastily written story by a bard, and it's about it's about this con he did in where he like pretended to be like this noble, maybe like a page of swords or something in the capital city of the world in creation. And he like pretends to be this noble, and then he puts on a show, and then he steals like a bunch of money from like the local nobles, all the people of class in that part of town. And then he goes to leave, and on the way out they catch him, and he gets like stabbed, and there's like this whole thing. But he gets away. He gets away with most of the money. And it's just like this hastily written out story where it's like halfway finished. And then he like put in like a couple like songs, almost like if it was like a play or something like that. It's like a half finished like idea. Make
He looks
a
in.
make an Arcana check.
Arcana. Any advantage or
Do you have anything that gives you advantage?
disadvantage? No.
Okay, then no. Oh,
yeah.
It's just a book, man. It's just a normal book.
Oh, I look back up. So, what is significant about this?
He said he gestures the book and he says, "Music and magic." Quite similar if you think about it.
Oh.
He was stunned after hearing his own.
He says, "Well, if you don't want it, I can put the book back on the shelf." And like steps forward, hold his hand out.
Maybe I'll find something interesting.
He says, "Well, you're free to peruse, I suppose."
I'll keep the book in one hand and wander around and try to find books on the Chaos Beasts.
Aren't you supposed to be good at Arcana rolls?
Yeah, I have a plus
He
8.
he just rolled an unfortunate.
Shots fired.
That's we've had 2 rolls this session, and they've both been
Two
natural
nat
ones. We'll talk about this, Tim. We'll talk about this when it comes up.
Yeah.
Oh,
What? No. Really?
Wow.
Wow.
Just throw a roll.
Right. Everybody do a roll. Let's get our nat ones out.
Wow.
What is going on? Did you guys anger roll 20 or something?
Vash, you have a voice changer on, it sounds like.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have hit a fucking keybind that activated it. Whoops. That never happens.
I thought I was going to get 20 for a minute there.
Oh, he changes his voice when he rolls a nat 1.
All right.
Thanks for pointing that out. I wouldn't have realized.
Is there anything else you want to do while you're in here, Lyram? Or you just like a lot of the books that you're seeing are no importance. Like most of them are boring, like historic accounts.
Yeah, he'll still browse through those. He thinks that's interesting.
Okay, right on.
Where's Vash?
He just wants random weird information.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So maybe we fade out to you, like grabbing a few more books, maybe taking them over to a table and like laying them out, looking at them all. Yeah, and we see like the histories of the Court of Coins. We see like trials and tribulations of the magistrate is another one. The demonic incursion of 3253. That's another one. Stuff like that. That one sounds pretty.
Now I have to ask, what is the year?
Well, we know it's past 10,000 for sure. Let's say the official year.
I was gonna say, has this actually been established? I don't remember anyone ever asking.
Yeah, I think it's established that it's past year 10,000.
Okay.
Maybe it's more something I've said out of character to you guys. But like the thing is that like the court, the city of creation, heaven's like capital city on earth, on the world or whatever, was founded about 10,000 years ago. And I think it's probably how they keep tracking year. That would be like year 0 when that was like officially first founded. It was probably a much smaller city then. But over time, it's just grown and expanded. Yeah, it's been about 10,000 years. So why don't we do this? We can actually decide a number. Somebody roll me a D500. Say it's the
Is it
year.
just going to be a 1?
Yeah,
it's going to be 10,001.
It's the year 10327. There's your year.
Awesome. All right.
That's the official year. I'm gonna have to make a note now. the official year in game is 10/3/27.
Cool.
All right. And hopefully I don't forget that. Okay. So maybe we crossfade back over to the kitchen. What are you guys doing? Orlan, are you still talking to the lady
How's the
while
food
she's
been, bro?
cooking?
She's probably mostly watching her cook.
You just like making sure she's not poisoning your food or something?
No, more of like she hasn't been around other Eldrin for so long,
Okay.
and it's probably been a while. Like maybe when she was a kid, she used to go and bother the chef, and so maybe it's just been a while.
Okay. Make a perception check. What's your passive?
Passive is 14. My roll was 17.
Okay, so her posture is very noble-like. She like just the way she carries herself. She keeps her back straight, shoulders tucked back, even when she's working. That's something you pick up on. She does appear to be a fairly experienced cook. Like she does this like it's second nature to her. So she's like mixing, matching different things. She's cooking. She's basically multitasking. She's cooking one thing while she's putting other things together. And everything's gonna come out around like the same time, basically.
Cool.
Go ahead.
She will ask, so in your family, do you go through training?
And she like tilts her head to the side and she says, "Training? What do you mean?"
Oh, like to be a lady, proper posture and etiquette.
She kind of smirks, and she says, "No, not particularly. My family had different sorts of traditions."
What family are you from?
Let's see here. She kind of looks sort of taken aback by the question. Make an insight check.
Nice.
Crit. She's definitely trying to hide that from you. And she says, well, a distant family had a place in the Sealy Court with the Summer Fae. She like goes back to her cooking. She you see it like when she turns away from you, like focus back on the cooking, she makes a face. Like her eyes go really wide. And like her she kind of like she's making the face to no one, right? She's kind of like making it to herself more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think So did you ever get to visit your family there?
She pauses for a moment and she shakes her head. She says, no. I never had time. I was always busy. She's lying. You crit on insight. You can tell she's lying.
So why would they teach you proper etiquette if you never got to go? In case of surprise visits?
Yeah, she gets kind of flustered at the question. She like takes a step back, and she probably like drops like a utensil that she's working with, and then quickly like scrapes down to pick it up, and she says, "Okay, I went, but it's been a long time, and I suppose, as far as the etiquette goes, some things are just second nature once you've learned them."
Depends on when you learned them, I guess.
She nods, and she goes, "Excuse me for just a moment. There's something I have to go get. I'll be right back." And she like steps through this door. The door closes behind her, but she's just like standing there on the other side. Like you can see her silhouette under the door, and she's just like standing there for like 10, 15 seconds. Before she finally like walks off. Like you see her walk off away from the door.
Curious. She's gonna look at Sha'ah, because Sha'ah's still there. What do you think she's hiding?
Maybe the pig.
Oh, do you think she might need help with that if it's the whole pig?
Where did she hide? Yeah, I'll help her. Where did she go?
She went through that door. I don't know where. I guess I'll watch the stuff, make sure the pie doesn't burn.
Oh yeah, is Freya like dead?
Orlan's been cradling the unconscious Faye. She doesn't know when
That's
it's gonna wake up.
great.
She's still mad at Sha'ah, by the way.
So Shaw's gonna pop his head out to the dining room table. Like she's not here.
Sorry.
Maybe she went to the bathroom. The toilet room where you share a toilet seat.
What is
Or
what?
not seat. It is one seat technically. You know that weird room?
Anyways, do you think there are any meat around the area? I'll try to investigate or perceive any meat in this kitchen.
We didn't see anything in the stables, right?
Make a perception check. Shaw.
Like, okay, hopefully this is not the one.
Your passive is like 20 something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't the
It's
one.
a 2. It's a 2. You rolled a 2.
it's a 2.
I mean, 16's still pretty good.
What you asked for?
There's not any meat in here. You also you give the era. You don't smell any meat in this room. Like it smells like meat's been cooked in here recently.
Mm-hmm.
You can it's like maybe like it's been an hour or two since meat was cooked in here. But yeah, there's no meat. Maybe you like open a couple things and you're like, yeah, I don't see any. This doesn't
Maybe
make
the
sense.
meat's down in that one room that we woke up in. It looked like they stored things there.
Downstairs?
Yeah.
Could be. I mean, they don't have anything like horses in the stable. It's kind of weird.
Maybe they ate them.
Horse meat. I'll wait for her to come back.
Okay.
Did she give Melora the glass of water
No.
yet?
No.
Is
She was-
this thing the clean water?
Yeah.
Or
Like
is-
you can grab like a mug off the table or something and just grab the water. I mean,
Yeah, Orlan will do that and take some to Melora.
yeah. It looks clean. Like a little bit of it maybe like splashes on you when you dip the mug in. It's really cold, like a lot colder than it should be. Like the outer edges of that barrel are probably have like a ring of frost around the top. Yeah. So you go up and set a mug down on the table. Odayn was over here. Sorry, Odayn. I just want folks to be able to see.
Our chef wandered off. I'm going back. Make sure my pie doesn't burn.
You think she actually knows how to cook?
You talking about Orlan or?
Yeah, talking after Orlan wanders away.
I've never seen her cook. I think people just do that for her.
It's kind of what I figured. Yeah.
Is this the only kitchen here? Is she the only one working here?
This was the same one that was there yesterday, right? Same
Yeah.
location?
Yeah.
Same one me and Ishi ran into yesterday.
Odayn's gonna go back and see what Orlan's up to.
All right. Odayn walks into the kitchen. What are you doing when he walks in, Orlan?
She's still holding Faye and just like staring intently at the pie in the oven.
Where did the chef go?
She went up that way. And then disappeared or something. Sha'ah was gonna go see if she was getting a pig. But couldn't find her.
Oh, Sha'ah already looked for her?
Well, he didn't go far.
Let me go look for her. I'm starving, and I don't really trust you with the pie. And then walks off looking for her.
Yeah, so you walk into a room, there's like a dining hall there. And there is like some fresh food on the table, which might seem kind of odd. A lot of it is like finger foods, right? So it's like almost like snack trays, like stuff you could just grab. So there's like a bowl of fruit, and there's like a bowl of these tiny little sandwiches kind of things. And then there's like a plate that's got like a bunch of like sushi rolls on it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Odayn's gonna grab stuff while he looks for her. He's gonna grab some before he goes out. 'Cause he's kind of really hungry.
Yeah. So you're like standing there and you're like munching on some food and you're kind of like looking around the room, and it's a nice room. Like the table's really well crafted wood. It's probably some kind of a dark wood, so like mahogany or something. And the windows are like the nice stained glass windows. Yeah, and there's books on a shelf there. And yeah, you're standing there, and she comes walking in from this door, and she's got a pig slung over her shoulder. And she stops for a second, and she says, "Oh, is there anything else I can get for you?"
No, just exploring. The food's really good. Did you make these?
And she nods.
Would it be possible to take some of these back to my friends?
She says, "Yeah, help yourself."
Odayn takes the whole plate of sushi and brings it back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And we see her like she looks at the plate and she kind of like makes a mental note to herself, and then she starts walking back towards the kitchen. And after you walk in, she walks in. She pauses, looks at Orlan. And there's like this kind of like drawn out pause for a moment, and she's like, "Oh, you're still here." Like walks up to the counter and like throws the pig down on the counter, pulls out a meat cleaver, and starts cutting it up. I mean, it's a whole
Is she
pig.
manhandling this pig?
It's already dead.
Just
It's already
well,
like
I know, but like, no problem. Doesn't seem to be struggling.
yeah, it
Meats
doesn't
are
seem
so
like
heavy.
It's totally freaking Titania.
it doesn't seem particularly difficult to her or anything. No.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
But it's like already dead and skinned, and perhaps like dried, even like salted and dried. But she's just like cutting it up so it'll be easier to eat, like piece at a time, kind of thing. Yeah, and she's like organizing all that on the counter. So there's like, she slings it down. She pulls out the cleaver, and she looks over her shoulder at Orlan for a second, and she's like, we see the cleaver like glint in the light, and then she turns back to the pig, and she like brings the cleaver up and slams it down on like a hoof or something, like takes the leg off, like, pries it off, and like scooches it over to the side, and she like turns it over and like brings up the other leg, and she raises the cleaver again, like brings it down. It's loud chopping sound.
And she never answered what family, right?
No, she didn't. No.
Yeah. So by the way, you never answered about your family.
Yeah, she goes, "Oh, didn't I?"
I mean, you said where you're from, but I was asking for your family name. I gave you mine.
And she says, "I don't have any family anymore." She brings up the cleaver again. She brings it down harder than she did before, so it's like much louder. And then she pauses for a
But
second.
you would still have a name.
She kind of like, and she sets the cleaver down, and she turns towards you. And as she does, the skin on her face changes. The sort of illusion that she's putting on starts to kind of fade. The hair, which for some Eladrin is normally like this auburn color, kind of like brightens slightly to like a honey color, like golden kind of color. The skin darkens slightly to like almost like a slight brownish. Um, and she kind of smiles a bit. There's her eyes glint, like there's like a hint of fury in them. And she says, "You can call me Tiandra, I suppose." but let's keep this quiet. She kind of like tilts her head to the side. Please.
So is she somebody I recognize?
Do you know Titania? Like, do you? I would think. I would
feel
think.
like
Shit!
considering
Yeah, Wolf called it. Like,
considering-
It's another name for Titania.
yeah.
Yeah. Considering she's or Oberon is her
Hold
consort,
on,
I
hold
feel
on,
like
hold on,
Orlan
hold
would know.
We've talked a little bit about
Oh my god.
the dynamics between Oberon and Titania and stuff. I think at this time they're like estranged. Like they're not, because they go back and forth where sometimes they're like lovers and
Yeah.
then sometimes they're kind of enemies. I think right now they before this stuff started happening, they were kind of enemies. So maybe she hasn't participated in the actual court, like the Sealy court, in some time. But that's up to you to decide. Like I'll let you decide how you want to react to it, and I'll try to play off that. A lot of this is improv.
I don't know.
so-
I think Orlan would have done her research on stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so if she's recognizing her as Queen Titania, she will give a curtsy and I apologize.
She kind of like bows her head slightly, and she turns back to the pig that she's working on. And as she turns back, like the illusion folds back over her, like a cowl being draped over her. And she says, "Trying to keep a low profile here." And she like brings the meat cleaver down the pig one more time. And she like slumps it, and she starts humming again, like there was nothing tense or awkward about that at all. Like she just goes right back to humming, and pleasantly like putting the pig together. And she like brings out this large wooden like tray. She kind of like pieces the pig together on, like stacks up bits of it so it'll all fit on this like large tray. And then she picks it up and she turns towards you. She's like, "Well, should we start serving the food then?"
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So she like walks past you out of the room, and she like walks over and sets the tray down on the table. And then she comes back, and she's like, checks the oven. She pulls out one of those long handle things and like scoops it under the pie, and like brings it out and like sets it down on the counter. And there's probably a few other things that she's getting ready to. That's all like finishing around the same time.
Question.
Go ahead.
She's a smart primordial, right? Did she do that when everybody was distracted? Because I think most of us can see her from where we're at in the tables.
Yeah.
Was that like right when Odayn places the sushi and everyone turns to grab some or something?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say. I mean, you guys can make like a perception check to see if you notice something going on in there. Like, really, the only people that could possibly even recognize her is maybe Melora and Sha'ah. So it's like the rest of you, she probably wouldn't really care. You're not from the Feywild. You're not gonna recognize like what she looks like, most likely.
I would see her change forms. Though.
Yeah, you might see that for sure. Yeah.
So, like, if you don't want any of us to see, I think it's fair that maybe she picked the perfect moment or something. But
I mean, I want to give you guys an opportunity if you want to see. Like, so let's. I think if your passive is over 17, and you can see her from where you're sitting, then we'll say yeah, you could see it. If your passive is under 17, then roll. And
It's over 17.
yeah,
And I can see
passive
her
is 17.
shooting.
Shaw, your passive is 1,000,000. We all know.
My passive is 17.
All right. So it meets it, beats it. So you see it.
So it's really just Melora and Ishu. Can you see her from where you're at, Sha'ah?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I think
I can see her like bottom
Just the corner.
half.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and since she
like that
let
one.
her hair her hair show through, I think Sha'ah would have at least seen the hair.
Melora's
Her hair and her
passive.
skin changed. Yeah.
Melora's
Yeah.
passive is 17, so she sees it. I think the Ishu's passive is 9, and he's probably not actively paying attention, so I'm not going to give him a roll.
Probably
Too
chowing
busy
down on
eating the sushi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And there's this, when it happens, like we see Melora kind of like stand up and look over there for a moment. She kind of like tenses up, and she like looks over in that direction. She doesn't go walking over there. She like stands up, scoots her chair back, and then watches over there for a moment. And then when nothing happens, she kind of like sits back down.
Odayn's like, Melora, what's wrong? What's wrong? As she's like trying to eat at the same time. What's wrong? What happened?
She says, well, it seems our cook had something to hide. I was just worried for a moment there. Everything's okay, I think. She sits back down.
Are you not hungry? You should try some of the sushi. It's really good.
Yeah, she like tilts her head to the side. She says, "Sushi, huh? Sure." And she like holds out a hand, cupped hand. Are you gonna be like, no?
Odayn,
You gonna have to use chopsticks, or like, what are you gonna do?
I think Odayn's just gonna pick one up and give it to her.
Yeah.
Put it in her hand.
She kind of like looks at it, turns it, studies it for a second, and then she just plops the whole thing in her mouth, starts chewing. And there's like a look on her face like she doesn't know quite what it's gonna taste like, and then she seems kind of content. Like she's kind of worried it was gonna taste bad for a second, and then she seems to rather enjoy the taste. And yeah, she says, that's pretty good. Can I get another one? She like reaches over.
Yeah, just take from the plate. Look at Ishu. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, Ishu's like, no, you guys have your own stuff. I've got a pig here that I'm. Yeah, he like grabs a haunch and starts chewing on it. What was that, Ella? Oh, it was in secret.
Orlan, yeah, Orlan. I guess I could type it instead. No, I'll say that loud. Orlan's doing her best to try and keep a straight and respectful face because she's got a lot of thoughts running through her head about this interaction.
Yeah, it's probably a little awkward, right?
Yeah, I mean, we all saw how she kind of ranted at Hearsome for not helping defend the Feywild.
It'd be far more interesting if you didn't hold him in.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, she's also like, she just encountered the queen of the Sealy Court, which like is a lot of Beladrin's dream to become a part of. So she's kind of like, I don't want to make her angry with me, but I'm also very upset with her.
Let's see here. I'll have her make a roll. Let me see what her thing is. Oh my gosh. Wait, she doesn't have a skill for it. So it would just be a straight wisdom for insight then, right?
Yep.
All right.
I mean, you could get your skill.
I'm just going off the sheet that I already have for. Okay. Yeah, she doesn't really pick up on what you're doing.
Orlan's probably mastered controlling her face when topics of Titania come up.
Wow, she's pretty strong. I'm looking at her sheet right now, and cool, good stuff. All right, yeah. So she's like, she tries to ignore you, basically, and just go on with making the meal. And she like
Yeah.
starts bringing stuff out to the tables, and she's like, "Well, I think your pie is ready. I can serve it at the table if you like, or you can just carry it." She kind of gestures to it.
Yeah. You want to eat with us?
Well, I'm not all that hungry, actually. Probably some things I need to attend to, but you all enjoy your meal. And she like walks by. There's like this moment where Shaw's sitting there where she like, you both move the same way at the same time, so it's like awkward interaction where you're like, oh no, oh sorry, no, okay, and then she like tries to scoot by you. Starts setting.
Go to Orlan and ask Orlan, were my eyes deceiving me or was I just that far? Wasn't that?
Orlan holds up her finger to her lips like, shh.
The Summer Queen? I move closer.
No, shh, don't
Wait,
just leave her alone.
What? She's here?
Yeah, we see her.
Talk about it later.
Her passive is 24.
Wow.
So you're like, oh, the Summer Queen, and we see her like quirk an eyebrow over, and then she says to like Ishu and Odayn and Melora's table, she's like, well, I hope you all enjoy your meal. And Ishu's like chewing ferociously on a haunch, like he's almost got the whole thing in his mouth. He's just like tearing at it, and she like reaches a hand out, and pats him on the head. And then walks out the other door.
Thank you. Odayn says thank you on her way out.
Yeah, she doesn't respond.
She probably gives similar kind of nod of things.
Yeah, and then she's gone.
Where did she go?
Shaw's gonna stalk her.
There is meat here, although it's not cooked.
Well, if like anyone else asked for a dish that had meat in it, she would have cooked it for you. So, like, just whatever you asked for.
What's Ishu eating right now?
A whole pig.
Like uncooked?
Yeah, it's uncooked. I mean, it's cut up, so it's like a dried. It's like it was hung up and dried or whatever, and maybe salted, but it wasn't cooked. No. It's almost like a whole jerkied pig or something.
I'm not hungry. Oh, where did she go?
So yeah, you go out in the hallway, and you're looking around, and you see the two guards out there. Did Faya and
Why is Faya here?
did you both try to follow her?
That Faya was already there.
Okay.
When we came to this map.
Oh, okay.
Faya, I think, is unconscious for 3 hours unless I decide to heal it.
Oh, okay. So here, I'll just get rid of the duplicate Faya then.
Yeah.
All right. Do you here's my question, Sha'ah. Does she get through the door and does the door close before you go to try to follow after her?
She can go I'll try to track her, I guess, if she's not there when the door closed.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we see the door close, and then you walk through the door shortly after, looking, and you see the guards. Let me see here.
She's still here?
No, shoot. Well, I'm about to decide. Actually, I'm gonna have her make a roll.
Bet she used something similar to what Orlan has. Like face step or misty step or something.
Okay, make a perception check. And I'm gonna have her. She has a very bad stealth. She's not really stealthy. Okay, I'm just gonna say 31. So here's what happens. Let me grab her token again. They put her on the GM layer. All right. So you walk through the door, and then on the other side of the corridor, you see her for a second, and then there's a flash of flame, and she vanishes like right in front of your eyes.
I move closer. Is she still around me?
No, she's not still there. No. No.
Did the guards see what she did?
Yeah. I mean, the guards probably, I guess, at least this one, at the very least, probably saw her do that.
Darn. She got away. Alright, I head back to the group. I was like, so Orlan, was that really the Summer Queen? Tiandra, the wife of Oberon?
I don't think we should talk about it here.
Sorry, wife of Oberon.
Yeah,
Her.
the Queen of the Sealy Courts.
I don't think we should talk about it here.
Why?
About the silly courts?
Those,
Silly courts.
not silly, Sealy.
Same difference.
I'm out here and I found one of the Archfays. My mission is to ask for help from them. Unfortunately, only is Melora an Archfey.
No.
She's primordial.
No.
Oh,
yeah,
she's just a primordial.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not an archfey. Yeah.
We never really got an ally.
Yeah, they do seem to be a worthless bunch. Are you sure is she powerful?
I'm pretty sure, right, Orlan? You should know her. Oberon's your master.
Yeah,
That's his wife, huh?
Why is she here?
she said she's keeping a low profile.
Is she hiding from something?
He sounds like it.
I'm pretty sure she's here for refuge after what happened at Feywilds.
So is she? You never answered. Is she powerful?
Mm.
Or is she simply queen because she's married to Oberon?
I believe she's super smart and wise. She's such a great strategist.
It's more like Lord Oberon is king because of her.
Really?
She's more powerful than Oberon.
I mean,
Vash kind of mutters. Looks like you got your work cut out for you.
Hopefully she comes back, because I have a lot of questions.
Wait,
Maybe she's just running
strategist.
away from you guys.
Yeah?
Are we to believe that her grand strategy is to hide away here?
Maybe, I don't know, she doesn't really believe in Ubrimah? We all have doubts about Ubermaw, don't you?
Plenty.
You've never really met the guy. And he has this palace, and everything's like a dream. He can provide.
He's saying that she's like now she's
Double agent.
Ubermaw's
Or
wife.
something.
Well, he's got this big nice house, you know, so he's got all that money. So maybe she left over. Let me see here. Well, Melora has nothing to say.
So, what do you know of this Tiandra, you said?
Deandra.
She's a strategist. She's supposed to be smart, powerful.
Yeah, she's the heart
Anything else?
of the Steely Court.
What does that mean exactly? What does the Sealy Court do?
To make a history check, Sha'ah?
Yeah. If I think about it clearly,
God.
the Steely Court. The Steely Court is I think my mom could like explain it better, but I can't. I'm sorry.
Orlan's gonna pull a book out of her bag and flip through it a bit. It's Ramblinman. It's that book of lore on the Feywilds.
Okay.
And she's gonna find the page about the Sealy Court, and then hand it to Sha'ah.
All right.
Which in my notes I have that it gives advantage if you take some time to read through.
Sure. Yeah, we can say it's like you can flip through the pages and like try to find what you're looking for. So
Yeah.
I'll allow.
Or I guess I could read it since I have a higher history.
You could.
If you're doing that, Vash is like, and what is that?
Something
That's
my
a
mom
book.
had.
No, it's a book, Shaw. Do you have information on Tiandra in there?
There you go, 15.
A bit. There's a bit of information. Let's see here. With a 15, Tiandra, also known as Titania, Queen of Sealy Court and Summer Fae, known for being a wife of Oberon. Let's see here. She's often seen as benevolent and the heart of the Sealy Court, like Sha'ah said. Okay. Let's see. The Sealy Court was split into two groups, the Inner and Outer Circle. Inner Circle was a close group of 6 deities who had many shared attributes, although typically chaotic. Most were loyal to Queen Titania and would do as she requested. Members of the Inner Circle tended to be playful and curious, though also cautious due to the small size of their avatars. Disputes between members of the Inner Circle were uncommon and always quickly resolved. Until recent history, I suppose. Wolf linked the thing.
Figured I'd help.
It might actually be. Oh no, it's not what I was looking at. Titania appears as a ladron of immense beauty, skin color of honey, hair shimmered in autumn leaves. Alternative, your avatar would appear That doesn't really matter. I mean, with a 15 though, I'm not gonna give you a lot of the crazy stuff. I think that's pretty good.
Is there a massive difference between, I guess, the beauty or whatever when she went from with her disguise to her natural form?
Her natural form is probably much more beautiful, I would think.
Interesting.
I would think, unless I'm wrong lore-wise. But she's
No, that's pretty much what it says, but I just want to make sure.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, she's not typically easy to anger, but if she gets angered, then bad shit can happen. That's for sure. I mean,
That's why Orlan did not rant at her for hiding here.
She had a throne that was carved from ice in the shape of a dragon. At one point, she's also had many forms. Like she's had forms that are more like fairy-like. She's gone through various avatars before. So there would be different depictions of her. Let's see. I think that's it. I think with a 15, that's really the gist of it. She had a famous love affair with Oberon, and supposedly he built her palace. Some called them husband and wife, while admitting that both took other lovers freely. At other times, they were also great enemies. This is one of those times. At still other times, they're both lover and foe at the same time. Let's see. They supposedly they had a son. Let's see here. Prince of Frost was also a son of hers. If you mention that, Meloria will perk up probably.
I can't remember if we learned that in character or not. But I remember it coming up in a previous session.
Okay. Also, how much of this is Orlan actually telling us? All of it, or some of it, or?
I mean, she's just reading off the book.
Okay.
So it's whatever Ramblinman is giving us, I guess.
So everything I'm saying. She's typically worshipped by a bunch of different non-evil faiths. They list them off here. Brownies, bukas, pixies, sprites consider her their patron deity. She didn't grant spells to her followers, nor did she have priests or clerics. For all fey creatures had magical powers of their own. Titania's followers taught that she was a goddess of goodness and mercy. They see her as a mother figure. Her holy symbol was a white diamond with a blue star. Periodically, she would host a parliament of all the separate fey courts, Seelie and Unseelie, at a place called how do you say that? Sinalise, which was sometimes called the Court of Stars. And she was also a patron to many warlocks in the realms. That's about it. That's everything, I think.
Separate question. As Orlan is reading this, what is her demeanor? Is she sneering at some parts? Is there any of that? Or is it just a very rote?
Ramblinman, I think she's still trying to maintain the face she was when she first saw it was Titania, but I don't know if my previous role still applies or not.
Wait, sorry, one more time.
Orlan is still trying to maintain like the same face, that like
composure?
Keeping back all of her her composure. I don't know if the same role that I did privately to applies.
You can make it again. Because it's different time. It's different. Like, you were doing it before. You were trying to keep your composure in front of her. Now you're doing it in front of the group. So you can roll
Yeah.
again in secret if you want.
I mean, I don't want to. I want to use the same roll. Okay, just a second.
She rolled a 22 before.
Fair enough.
Okay. I'll let you decide what that means.
So she's keeping her face neutral, but you could probably tell in her eyes there's a lot of like emotions going on in there.
Vash has information some of the rest don't, so he's probably looking for that.
Wait, what information?
He got to see your entire ordeal with Oberon, remember?
Not the entire thing. She slapped you before you saw all of it.
Okay. Well, we cut to the inside of a hallway. It's beautiful. It looks like different stone than what we're seeing in the rest of this keep that you guys have been staying in. The walls are like this beautiful, like marble, like granite kind of color. I think we the view of the camera is centered on this painting on the wall, and it's got this beautiful, like ornate gold frame around it, and the camera like slowly zooms out. And we see this beautiful, like marble wall. Let me check the color. It's almost like a brownish, brown and white kind of marble. And the painting shows. It's almost like something you'd see like. It's kind of weird because it's such a fine frame, but the painting itself almost looks something like you would see on like a cave wall, like painted by hand, with just like stain or something. But it's like a rough depiction of a bunch of people that are gathered together, and like some of them are holding up there's one person holding up an infant above their head. There's two people that are holding hands. There's one person who's like sat like on a horse and is like wearing like some kind of armor. It's hard to tell, but you're really seeing like silhouettes because again, it's like a basic like cave painting style of painting. And then off to the side is like this old looking man. You can tell because he's kind of like hunched over, and he's like wearing what looks sort of like a pointy wizard or witch hat or something kind of. He's got like this cloak that's covering most of his like limbs and body. And yeah, we see like all these people are like gathered around, kind of in like they all seem like sad almost. And the old man is like holding out a hand. And it's almost like he's trying to like he's sort of like elevated compared to the rest of the people in the painting. It's almost like he's like proselytizing to them. Or something like that. And then the camera pans out, and we just like see this hallway. We're just looking down this hallway. There's like some nice tables with like some lit candles on them. And then appearing out of thin air is just like a sound. Is a man. Like he appears and he kind of like falls down to one knee. And he's like draped in this long like blue cloak. He's got long white hair and like this long white beard with like a hood kind of tucked over it. He like falls down to one knee. He's like gripping his side, and we see him like look down, and he pulls a hand away from his side, and he's like covered in blood. And then we see also appearing in the room this giant unicorn, and there's like a woof sound again. And then we see the unicorn like tilt his head, and he goes, "Master, are you okay?" And then the man looks up, and he like we see like a trail of blood coming out like one corner of his mouth, and he says, "I need the throne, quick." and they both turn to a wall, like a blank wall, and the wall like folds in on itself, and we see this room open up. And inside the room, we see like some guards, some Gith guards. There's some plants like bonsai trees. The camera rushes into the room ahead of the agape and the master, and we see like a pile of gold. We see all these ornate rugs and paintings and like tapestries and like books. There's a bunch of like really well manicured plants. There's like flowers and different sets where there's like bonsai trees growing, and there's like hanging lanterns that emit this like blue light from the ceiling. And in the center of the room, there's this big pool of water. It's probably like a foot or two deep. It's hard to tell. It's reflecting the light almost perfectly. In the center of the water, there's like this lily pad with this beautiful pink lotus flower growing on top of it, like in the center of the pool. Off to one side, as we see them come stumbling, the master kind of comes stumbling in. We see like a hookah with a bunch of pillows and like a seating area. There's some books kind of laid out. And he stumbles forward past this like pile of gold, and like there's like what seems to be like artifacts just like haphazardly thrown in this pile. And he reaches into his cloak and he pulls out a potion, and he just uncorks it and nonchalantly just chugs the whole thing. And he like stumbles towards the opposite end of the room where there's this like stone, old-looking stone throne, and he kind of collapses into it. And he sits back and he closes his eyes and he just kind of lays there for a moment. Agape, who's followed him in, kind of looks around the room at the few guards and stuff. And he says, we hear him saying into the master's mind, "Just a moment, sir, I'll be right back." And then he vanishes. And we see, we cut to a courtyard outside of the library. And we get the teleportation sound as he appears in the courtyard, and he walks towards these double doors that make up the main building of the library. As the doors open for him, as he walks towards them, he steps in. Inside the library, what is Lyram doing?
Lyram is still browsing through books and just reading things, trying to learn as much as he can. Probably at this point trying to learn something about chaos beasts and controlling the formless chaos, or trying to at least.
Okay. So one of the things, actually roll. So does it either be history, or if you got something else that would qualify for like a researching role?
I'll just do history.
24.
That's a bit better.
So the biggest thing that helps with learning how to control the chaos is either being born into it, like living your entire life in the chaos, basically.
Yeah.
Or like your ancestors having lived in it for generations seems to like make it a lot easier to control it. The other thing would be years of practice. Like if you were to take up training, you could potentially learn from an anarch the ability to do it innately. Other people have. People, constructs, various things. Other beings have learned how to do this, but it takes like years of practice, and that's with like diligent concentration and focus.
Okay.
But that is what you learn. So we see you like sitting there looking through these books, and this unicorn comes walking in, and he kind of like looks around for a moment. He leaps over the table. The the librarian guy like takes notice of him and kind of steps aside. And he says, Agape, what's going on? And as Agape comes forward, you both hear in your minds, the master's here. I think he's ready for an audience with you.
I'll stand up and get ready to go then.
Yeah, so Agape's like, we should probably gather up your friends. Do you know where they are?
They're not my friends. Don't worry.
Why? I don't understand. Why would I worry?
Oh, do not concern yourself with needing to find them.
Agape kind of pauses for a moment. He says, well, they'll need to be present as well.
I suppose.
All right. So he goes. He says, "I'll meet you in the 3rd floor in the common area, top of the stairs."
He stands up and he'll go to the common area.
You see, like, gather your things. Maybe you grab the book that you're reading and like stuff it into a bag.
Yeah.
And then Agape like vanishes again. And we see him like appear in the main area building on the 1st floor. And he like pauses and looks around. He sees the guards who are looking at him. And then he hears some noise. And he walks towards this door. The door opens for him. And he steps through. What
This
are you guys?
pie's not bad.
What'd you say, Wolf?
Oh, this pie's not bad.
Yeah, that queen lady really knows how to cook.
Good cook.
As this unicorn comes walking into the kitchen area.
Hi, Agape. You want some fish?
Horse eat fish?
I don't know what he eats.
He pauses and like tilts his head to the side, and he says, "No, I thank you, but I don't require food. The master should be ready for an audience with you all if you want to gather your things."
Out of
All
character
right.
question.
Yeah,
I already made a bunch of rolls for days where we thought we'd be waiting for the master. Should I undo those?
Well, what were you gonna do?
I made potions.
No, you can keep them.
No, Dane also
Okay.
did the meditation stuff.
Right.
That. Yeah.
It's fine. All that stuff can still stand.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, so he's here and we're just supposed to jump to it, huh?
Well, if you would like to wait, I suppose you can. Your friend, Lyram,
So I'll get it over with.
headed upstairs now.
Is the guy upstairs?
The master, you mean?
Sure.
Yes, Ubermaw is.
Vash is just gonna look around and see what everyone thinks.
Odayn's gonna stand up, grab the chest, and then wait for everyone else to get ready.
Before we go, can I show you what I did this morning?
Who are you talking to?
Agape.
Okay. Yeah, he pauses and he says, "Sure."
Also,
Right,
is
I'll meet
Agape...
you down in the altar room.
Yeah, he nods and there's like a sound as he disappears again. Let me copy. Is anyone else going to go to the altar room with them? Or you guys want to go do another thing?
No, I was just curious, is Agape showing any signs of distress or?
Not particularly. Let's see if he might be trying to hide it though. 13. You want to roll an insight check?
Sure.
He's a little distraught. Yeah.
Okay.
You can pick up some like, not panic, but concern.
Urgency as well, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, Orlan and Agape in
Sitting in a tree.
the dungeon.
Dungeon.
Well, it's the altar room in the basement.
Okay.
It's the same map.
Hey, something. Let's go to the dungeon.
Let's go back up here and grab Odayn so we can see what's going on down there. So Odayn is our eyes. Okay. And here we go. All right. So we fade into the altar room. As there's like you come down the stairs and Agape was already waiting. And he meets you over here by your Oberon altar. I guess it would be like all taken over by plants by now, right?
Yeah. Because the seedlings all sprouted, and then the ones that Vash caused to sprout the night before would be more vibrant and healthy.
Yeah. So like as we hear the trot of horse hooves on stone as he like walks over to the altar, and there he says into your mind, "Oh, well that's pleasant, isn't it?"
Yeah, it took 8 hours, but it's so worth it. I would do it again.
I agree. It somehow breathes some life into this dark place.
I think it affected some of the other altars a little bit too.
He turns around and looks around at some of the other ones. Yeah, because I guess it was like an 8-mile radius or something like that.
I think it's a half mile
mile.
radius.
Half mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
half mile radius.
He looks around and like on the so there is like some plants growing around the Melora and the Cernunos and maybe the Music and Magic statue and the Aed ones. A lot of the blank ones are still blank with plants sprouting around them. The Aed one in particular over here, the plants had grown there and they've quickly like dried out, like brown slightly just around the altar itself. But they're there. Agape kind of looks around and he says, "Well, it's kind of an improvement if you think about it."
Plants are always an improvement.
Yeah, he kind of like nods his horse head.
You can breathe a little better in here now too.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Out of character. So you mentioned that they're Titania and Oberon are in their off-state rival state right now. Does Orlan know this? Like, did you say it was before all the flesh stuff started happening?
Like, yeah, like it might be the case that they've been in an off state as long as you've been around, right? Like, I mean, sure, they're ancient, right? So their trysts could last like generations.
Orlan's also over 100 years old.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. Let's decide with a roll. I'm gonna roll a d20, and if it's 10 or higher, then they've been in an off state as long as you've been alive.
Okay.
14. So yeah, they've been in an off state as long as you've existed. All
right.
Yeah.
Then, Orlan's also gonna say, I don't know if you know this, but I know that, the Queen Cecilia Court is, hanging about. And, I mentioned this altar to her, not realizing who she was. And, just gonna make sure, 'cause I know
I'm concerned she's going to
they're
try
not
something.
I know they're not on the best terms right now, so
Well, if it would make you feel better, we can place some kind of protection over this altar.
I mean, she doesn't have to stay away from it. I just don't want her to mess it up.
I can understand that. We have certain rules. I don't think she will, but perhaps I can have a conversation with her just to make sure.
Sure. Don't tell her I said it. And Orlan will go back upstairs.
You see, like,
She doesn't.
He's like walking towards the stair, and Agape is just kind of standing there, like he doesn't move. Like tilts. He's like watching you walk away, and the camera stays on him, and he kind of like tilts his head to the side, and you just hear a and then he vanishes.
You just asked the most good-hearted creature in the plains to lie for you. I'm sure that'll work out.
Yeah, it'll be
He
fun.
doesn't have to lie. He just doesn't have to say it.
That's called a lie of omission.
All right.
He could say someone who wishes to remain anonymous. That's not a lie.
All right. So, are you guys all gonna go upstairs and get ready to meet what's his face?
Oh, I suppose.
Yep.
Lyram is already
Yeah.
up there
Yeah, Lyram's up there waiting, just like staying. Like,
because he's the best guest.
No, Ishu, you can't take the whole thing with you.
Come on, I'm. He's like trying to fit.
Just grab
parts
a
of it in
leg.
his- Yeah, he's gonna like, grab a leg to eat on the way, and he's like, I think I can fit the rest of it in my bag if I just try hard enough.
Remember who we're about to meet.
Fine.
Trying to set a good impression here.
Stands up, like sweet, like just he wants to carry it. He can't carry all of it. He just grabs a piece, like eating it on the way out the door as you guys walk out.
Ishu, you should thank that queen lady for making you the food next time you see her.
Fine.
I said she's trying to keep a low profile, right?
Are you back?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, Agape's not here. All right.
Oh, I mean, she came up the stairs before he came up anyway, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a good place to go to break, I think. If you guys want to take our 5-minute mid-show break, 5-10 minutes or
Works
so.
for me.
Grab you a drink,
Sure.
all that stuff, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back in just a sec. All right. I am back. 1 second. Are you guys back?
I'm back.
You're back. How's it going, Tim? You all right today?
Yeah, pretty good.
I hope you guys don't feel like crazy. I was like, all right, we're doing this thing. Like, I'm just gonna be like, pull Ubermaw back now. 'Cause, I mean, I don't want to give you time to do everything you want to do. But it feels like a good time. I really wanted to get into it this session, so I was like, all right, let's just do the thing. So who else? Is anybody else back yet? Looks like no, maybe not.
I'm here.
All right. All right.
I'm back.
Keo and Ferdy are here. Cool. Let's see here. Welcome back. Okay. I think we're just waiting on Ella. Well, I hope you guys had a good break. Let's see here. I can finish up a couple things, I suppose, while we're waiting. How are you guys enjoying the session so far?
It's good so far.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like something crazy is about to happen though. Can't wait.
I don't know why you'd say
It's
that.
weak. Now's our time to strike.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, you could say that, yeah. He's bleeding, right? At least he was. Man. Yeah, strike down. Go for it. There will be consequences, but the option's there if you guys want to take it. It's a pretty brave option. Ella, are you with us yet? No. Her VTuber is just like standing there looking
Yeah, it's like
around.
moving around and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, what's up? I'm here for the meeting with the guy. So is there anything in particular you guys want to do as you all get to the top of the stairs on the 3rd floor? Tim, you're probably there a few minutes before the rest of them. Yeah, is there anything you guys want to do?
Nope.
No? Okay. All right.
I assume we didn't leave anything in our rooms.
I think it's a fair assumption. If you want to make sure you have all your things, you can do so. Also, you can refill all your rations and water skins if you like. If you haven't done so already. And I think you guys are all fully rested. Maybe not those of you who went into the dungeons. I know one person in particular took a little bit of damage while they were...
I think me and Ishu. Well, no, I guess Ishu got fully healed, so I'm still a little bit down, but not too bad.
All right. Well. Oh, Ella. Oh, okay. Wait, she's Ella. She dropped and then she came back really quick.
And the VTuber went off.
Yeah. Well, she dropped out of Discord and then jumped back in really fast. I think that happened. Maybe she's having technical difficulties right now. All right. Well, you know what? Why don't we just go back on break for a second? I'm gonna give Ella a second to fix thing. Maybe. Or should we just start? Should we just start? I kind of think everybody should be here for this.
She just said that she can't hear us if we're talking.
Oh, well, we are talking. That not good. She is having technical difficulties. Should we just go on break while we get them worked out? We can do that.
Yeah, we can wait.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, that's good with me.
We'll be back in a second stream. 1 minute here.
Well, I had to swap it back to my headphones instead.
Just change the setting and then change it back or something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's fixed. It's fixed. Your cam went off. Well, I don't know. You know,
That too.
at least the mic is working. That's really what's important.
It's because I left the call to trying to fix it.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you got it fixed. All right. Technical difficulties aside. All right. So we fade back in with you guys all arriving at I think you said the 3rd floor. What are you guys doing as you sort of group up there?
I attack.
Okay. You attack. What are you attacking?
I don't know who's present.
Right now, it's just your party members.
Fireball, no.
Viciously attack the pig leg that you're holding in your hand.
No, that's issue. I'm not carrying his pig, damn it.
Well, it's a chopped up pig, isn't it? So you probably got a
There's
piece.
pieces. Yeah, I didn't want it. It wasn't cooked.
I thought it was
Odayn?
cooked. That's why Sha'ah didn't want any.
No, it was uncooked. Which is why I wondered why Sha'ah didn't want any.
Because it was dried.
Oh, okay.
Not
It was yeah, it wasn't fresh.
See.
All right. So we.
Odayn's gonna whisper to Laura as they walk up the stairs. So, what do you think the Ubermaw guys is like?
She kind of furrows her brow and she goes, I'm not sure. I guess we should be ready for anything.
Or are you carrying that crate of potions still?
Oh, I think we probably will ask everyone if we just want to divvy it up for now.
Well, was it like were the potions still in the crate when Agape showed up? I guess is the real question.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
I'm back again.
Okay.
Neither did the guards.
All right.
None of them seemed to really care.
Yeah. Nobody seemed to be like. Nobody was like, halt, thief, or whatever. Like they did the guards.
I mean, Orlan also doesn't know where this crate of potions came from because she wasn't paying attention when you guys tried giving her some, or whatever.
I don't think we've tried divvying it up yet.
Well,
I think
Odayn,
gonna
she
start
tried
divvying it up
asking
now.
her.
Yeah, it sounds.
Oh no, it was Vash. Tried asking her when she was casting the spell.
Odayn, how are we gonna divvy them up if we don't know what all of them do?
Well, I don't want to be carrying this box the whole time.
Where did you find these?
Well, the box is a bit superfluous.
In that round building.
Like the library / crafting building. What about it? Is there a question I need to answer? You guys got quiet. Was everyone like?
Oh, just like.
Orlan asked where did we found it, and then she didn't answer back.
Okay.
Do we need to ask him if we can keep them, or are we all just agreed that we're going to keep them? If we're just going to keep them, then sure, we can divvy them up. But if not, may as well keep them as they are. We're about to meet him.
All right, then let's just ask him when we meet him.
Or we could not. That wasn't okay.
I don't care to make enemies of somebody who is powerful enough to keep this entire place in existence.
They're potions.
Right. That's why we're asking him instead of just taking it.
He already told us to make ourselves at home.
I mean, no. I mean, we might as well ask him. We don't want to accidentally anger him.
Fine.
Exactly there, watching us have this conversation.
Yeah, like I think Agape like appeared like midway through.
All right, Orlan will look at him and say, "Do you think he'll get mad that my friends took these from wherever they found them?"
He says, as I recall, you all were told that nothing was off limits except for the dungeons.
Oh,
Here you go then.
all right. Well then, yeah, let's divvy it up.
You still need to figure out what all of them do, Odayn. I only saw a few of them. There are some
know what?
healing potions in there, and we can divvy those up fairly easily.
Do you know what these do, Agape?
Let's see if Agape knows what these do. Oh, he's not particularly skilled in. No. No, he doesn't know what they do. He says, well, he probably recognizes the healing potions, so he's like, well, these can help mend wounds, I believe. These other ones, well, I'm not a alchemist, you understand?
As I am. Give me a night to look them over. They can't be
Well,
heavy
we
for
could-
you, are they?
We could ask Ubermaw.
Well,
Since we're
why
going
don't
to
I
meet
just?
him.
I'll leave this box here. You guys take the healing potions, and I can just hold on to the rest of it. If you guys are scared of them, I mean, they're just potions, right? Even though you don't know what they do, we still need to hold on to it.
I'll pass issue one of the superior. I can't remember which ones were which. Was there 2 superior? Or 2 greater?
Somebody wrote it down, right?
I think
yeah,
it was.
there was 2 superior, 1 supreme. Also, so
Yeah.
I'll pass issue one of the
Yes.
superior healings.
All right. I'll add it to his inventory.
Tell him to put it in there, yeah.
Superior healing
And
potion.
then we don't really have a take. I don't care who takes the healing potions. Vash doesn't want one.
I still have some of my own. I
Vash
think.
has his own. Yeah.
Okay. Ishu has 1 superior healing potion. Added to his
And
sheet.
if, seeing how we don't know what they are, Vash will pocket the others, I guess.
Oh, I think I already said that I was going to pocket the rest of them. I gave you guys the healing potion.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just giving the healing potions over.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I
You're
said,
carrying them or keeping them?
holding on to them.
It's fine.
Do you want to
I'll
put
try and
those
look
in
them
my
over tonight
bag?
and see what they. That could work too.
Do you want to put those in my bag, or you good with that extra weight?
I'm good with it. I have a lot of carrying capacity.
That's a weird way to put it.
I can carry more.
If no one else is
But
taking them, I'll
if
take the
you-
supreme healing.
If you want, here I give randomly the vitality potion to Orlan and the cloud of giant strength to Sha'ah.
Oh no, I don't need to hold it if you want to keep hold of everything. I was just offering.
Okay, well, yeah. I'll keep.
And
Why are we
also,
putting
you
so?
still don't know what they are. Just reminding
No,
for the 4th
that's
time.
that's what I said randomly.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Quote
cloud
unquote.
the cloud giant potion probably looks like a potion with just full of gas, like there's no liquid in there. It's just like a cloud in there.
So there's 2 of those because there's also a gaseous one, which I would assume kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Agape, I have one quick question. Just in case there's no time after we meet with Ubermaw, do you have any blank books I can have?
A blank book? Just for
Yeah,
writing.
for writing in?
Let me check. Let me look at the 3rd floor map really quick. Oh yeah, there's the room you're staying in is like right there where you guys are standing, and there's bookshelves in there that have blank books on them. You could probably just grab one off the shelf.
Yeah, she'll
You're literally
she'll
like 10
take
feet
a
away.
couple. Okay, she'll go over and take a couple if she's allowed. Then.
Right on. Yeah, absolutely. Agape probably tells you, I think there's some in the room you were staying in. And you're like, oh, it's right there. You reach through the door.
Yeah.
And you just grab it. There's 2 bookcases like right on the other side of the door. And I'm sure there's like a blank book there for writing. You can just grab one.
Just one, or can I take 2?
I mean, you can take as many as you want.
All right, I'm taking 2.
Yeah, less than 20. I'd say fair bet. All right, cool. And so yeah, you come back with your book. Agape says, all right, well, are you all ready?
Yeah.
Um,
Is there anything we should know before we meet him?
Well,
Does he like people
just
to curtsy and bow like a king or
no,
queen?
not happening.
He's not one for displays of power, really. No, just be yourself. Just talk to him like a person. You should be fine.
So no
He was
courtly formalities.
It's not necessary. If you feel better doing that, you're welcome to take part in it. He was wounded on his arrival. I hope he's recovered by now. It's not that out of the ordinary.
Does he need healing potions?
I believe he.
Not giving those away, Odayn.
Wait. You said
What
he
the-
just arrived and he's meeting with us already, even though he's wounded?
Well, it's an urgent matter.
It's true.
Do we expect trouble if he's been wounded?
No. Why?
Just wondering. Powerful guy. Wondering what can hurt him.
Well, there's no telling. It's a fair point, I suppose. Something strong must have gotten a piece of him. But if he's here, he's safe. He got away. I didn't detect any kind of corruption or anything of that nature, if that's your concern.
Well, let's get on with it then.
Yeah, he like leads the group of you over to this hallway that goes kind of down by some more of the bedrooms on the north side of that like chapel room that's on the 3rd floor. As you guys start to walk down that hallway, it starts to elongate. It's almost like dreamlike. Like the end of the hallway just seems to get further and further and further away. And the walls change to that brownish marble color we saw before. And as you guys like walk down the hallway, and it actually like widens a bit too, like so that Agape can like walk down it. We see you guys come to a door, a large, like old wood door. And Agape says, "The room is just through here."
Interesting.
Odayn opens it.
Yeah. The doors are huge. So there's like, it's like a big double door, but it's like, it's like 20, 25 feet across from end to end. So they grab a big latch and pull it open. And you guys step in. And this is what the inside of the room looks like. This is what you all see here. So you're looking into this room. You see a few guards in here. You can also, some of you can see like the treasure and stuff, the pool in the center of the room. And then across the other side of the room, sitting in his chair, is Ubermaw. This, looking at him now, he's not like slumped over like he was a few minutes ago. He's set up in his chair, kind of, I guess, proper, and he's just sort of like lost in thought, looking toward you all as you walk out.
Does he still look wounded?
He does not. Like, we don't see the blood trail in the corner of his mouth. His robes are all very clean. Like, they look the same, like the same blue robes that we saw, but we don't see like a cut or anything. There's no blood on his side or on his hands or anything like that.
So we're entering the room that had the throne and the like pile of gold and random artifacts thrown around. Okay.
It's the same room. It's the same room we saw in the cutscene. We, the audience, saw in the cutscene.
Talk about show of power.
And could we get a description of him again?
If any of the gems and riches are even real.
Yeah.
Right.
So he looks something like this: an old human man, long white hair, white, kind of unkempt beard, strong eyebrows, and kind of intense features on his face. Light skin, like noble, and very manicured, clean, dark robes, dark blue robes that kind of cover him. He's also wearing like a pendant around his neck. You can probably see like the top of it if he like moves his head to one side or the other, maybe like the chain. He's just like adorned in his kind of like symbols, the various art style that you've seen around the city and the keep, as far as like trim and color goes. But yeah, he's just sort of sitting there. His hair's not floating around all crazy like that. It's kind of just like draped over his shoulders. He's sort of just taking you all in with these like intense, like steel colored eyes.
Does that fairly well match the statue that we saw in the City of the People?
He looks older.
Okay.
But it's close, yeah. And also the statue is kind of like an idealized version of him in some ways. Like, looking at him, actually, Vash, make a wisdom save.
Sure.
Okay.
Terrible.
Yeah. It's fine. Like, it's not gonna hurt you or anything. He's got an intense psychic presence. Like, for someone who's sensitive to like psychic energy, like you, it's almost like looking into the sun in some ways. Like, you can see him clearly, but his aura is really strong. The rest of you probably don't feel it so much. I mean, some of you have talked to some really powerful creatures before, so it probably doesn't feel a whole lot different than that. There's a certain like power level sense to it. Also, he appears like quite tall for a human, like bulky too. Like, he's in really good shape. You can tell even through the robes. But he's tall. He might be like 7.5 feet tall. But it's proportional. So his like legs are equally bigger as his hands. He's like a really just tall human. Perfect health condition, even with the white hair and age. Like, his face isn't extremely wrinkled or anything like that. He just appears older. Yeah.
Did Lyram do anything while you were going up the stairs? Did he like say hi?
Lyram wouldn't say hi to anyone going up the stairs. I think that going up the stairs, Lyram is a little bit more focused and less even less interested in everyone else than usual.
I think that was possible.
So, yeah, Agape kind of walks forward. The guards like nod as he walks by. He sort of like walks to the center of the room, and you all hear in your mind the travelers are here to make an audience with you, Master Ubermaw. And you hear the like echoing out from him. He doesn't like move his mouth. Kind of like the same way Agape communicates. It's like telepathically. He says, "Welcome. You all may let yourselves in. Make yourselves comfortable. It seems we have much to discuss."
Do I recognize any of the people? Any that we've seen before?
Uh,
Or are they
some,
all fairly new?
some of them you might have seen on patrols, like around the rest of the keep. Make a perception check.
None that I've had interactions with.
No, like, what was the
Oh,
one
that's
guy's
fine then.
name? He's not here.
That wasn't with advantage.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you recognize
yeah.
like one or two of them from like them doing a patrol in the keep.
His name. It's fine.
Yeah, I've got it somewhere. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but he's not here.
Okay.
Fiwa. Fiwa, that's right. Fiwa of the people. You guys seem kind of apprehensive about entering the room.
Orlan
We're
moved up.
still not totally sure that he's not just going to kill us.
Yeah. He starts to cast a spell.
Counterspell.
He said make ourselves comfortable, but the only chairs I see are in a corner that's like far from him.
Yeah.
So Orlan's just gonna stand next to Agape.
He probably doesn't stay sitting down. Like once you guys start to walk into the room, I think he stands up and kind of stretches and moves forward. The two guards are intently watching him.
Him.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
us.
Well, I mean, they're watching you guys, but they're also watching him. Essentially, they're like waiting to see if he's going to move to another part of the room where they might follow.
Okay. And this, you said it was a lily?
Yeah, it's a lotus flower. So
lotus.
Like, yeah, there's like a lily pad with like a lotus flower.
Is that in the same vein as the one that we saw pop out of someone's mouth at one point?
It's kind of similar. Like you guys have seen these in ponds and stuff before too, like just normal plants. The one that popped out of somebody's mouth that one time, it like turned black and then corroded into ash, or like smoke that filled the room, if I remember. But yeah, they're symbolic. Like lotus flowers have a symbolism that is important.
Yeah.
So, you know,
greetings.
Hello, sir. Odayn moves closer.
Yeah, like Malora is probably up there with Odayn. Like she's looking at the pool, like,
we were told to seek your audience by Nirnam. Perhaps you could help us. Are you okay? We were told you were injured. Do you need healing?
His eyes dart to Agape immediately. And he holds out a hand, like palm toward you. He says, "No, I'm fine, thank you." So, Nirnam brought you all here, or at least told you to come here. Anyone understand why?
He thought you could help us in saving Lord Oberon.
Okay, so the Feywild then.
To start,
he's like looking around at all of you, kind of like studying your faces. He says, wasn't there another Tianchi was with you.
That is something we do need to discuss with you.
She's no longer with us. She turned to gold.
He cocks his head to the side. He's like walking over towards the like seating area. And he says, interesting. How did that happen exactly?
We're not exactly sure. We fought some plants, and after we fought some plants, it took over her mind or something. And then after the battle, she just randomly turned to gold.
What did these plants do?
They took souls.
He gets next to Agape and he absent-mindedly like reaches a hand out and kind of pets him like under the chin. And Agape kind of holds his chin out. He like scratches his chin as he walks by him. Souls.
God.
He says, interesting. And this Tianchi was follower of death, correct?
Yes.
Tim, are you still just like hanging out down there in the corner of the room by yourself?
Tim is kind of Lyram's staring, and he wants other people to have their conversations first so that he doesn't get killed.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Don't worry about it.
I'm planning on killing this guy, Lyram.
Hey.
No.
Oh boy.
Do you know what that is? Do you know why she's turned to gold?
He says, well, I have my theories. Lyram,
Importantly, can you change your back?
he shakes his head.
Can you retrieve her somehow?
First of all, hold on. Vash, make an insight check, or anybody that wants to make an insight check on him shaking his head.
Thank you.
Lyram, make a perception check. What's your passive?
Perception. My passive is 12.
Okay.
He check something.
14.
His voice sounds familiar, Lyram. Like his speaking voice sounds familiar to you. It's hard to place it exactly, but there's something that's familiar about it.
Wondering if he's the guy that was in the cave.
Insight check is hard to read.
Okay, I have a question. Sorry,
ahead.
when you're done.
Wait, Vash didn't make an insight check, did he?
I haven't yet. Yeah, I have a question about it.
Okay.
If I were to cast Detect Thoughts but not try to probe deeper, would that... I'm trying to read it to see how it's phrased, but would that automatically let him know I'm doing it, or would it just let me maybe have advantage on the insight?
Detect Thoughts. Let's take a look at the spell. For the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures. When you cast a spell and as your action, you can focus your mind on any one creature. If the creature you choose has intelligence 3 lower, creature is unaffected. You learn the surface thoughts. You initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature. What is most on its mind in that moment. As an action, you can shift your attention to another creature's thoughts or probe deeper into the same creature. If you probe deeper, target must make a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, its emotional state, and something looms large in its mind. If it succeeds, the spell ends. Either way, the target knows that you're probing into its mind, and unless you shift your attention to another creature's thoughts, the creature can use its action on its turn to make an intelligence check, contested by your intelligence check. If it succeeds, the spell ends.
Well, either way, he has verbal and somatic components, so
I can cast it without those.
Oh,
Yeah, I think his race gives him that ability.
Well, it was a boon from a long time ago.
Oh, right. Old boon.
Yeah. If the creature you choose intelligence 3 initially serves thoughts.
So the way I read it is, it says you can attempt to probe deeper, and then if you probe deeper, you can fail or succeed, and either way they know. So I think maybe they only know if I try to probe deeper. They only automatically know.
Yeah, it kind of sounds right. Let me see. Let me do some Google foo here. The creature is always aware. The creature
I
is.
don't have to. But.
It says the creature is always aware. That's what I'm seeing. Let this whole paragraph of that part of the text up. Initially learn the surface thoughts. But most of them as an action. Yeah. This means the creature is always aware that it's having its mind probed somehow, no matter how shallow. Let's break that down further. There are several outcomes to having a single target. You view the target's surface feelings. It is aware of your actions. It may make a contested check to end the spell. You probe deeper. It makes a wisdom save. On a fail, you gain more knowledge. The target is aware of your actions again and can make a contested intelligence check. You probe deeper into its thoughts. It makes a wisdom save. On a success, the spell ends. So either they're saying that no matter what you do, the target is aware.
Even if you don't probe?
Yeah, they're saying you view the target's surface feelings. It is aware of your actions. It may make a contested check to make you stop looking at its surface thoughts. That's what the thing on RPG Stack Exchange. This is the first thing that came up, though, when I Googled it. So. Oh, wait. Somebody's saying a creature is only aware when you probe deeper. Found in the section of the PHB, it seems on page 204, spellcasting section. Unless a spell has a perceptible effect, the creature might not know is targeted by a spell at all. An effect like more such as an attempt to read a creature's thoughts typically goes unnoticed. I have to say this word for word from the book. So I'm going to say yes, you can get surface thoughts potentially without them knowing. I'm going to change my ruling. I'm going to...
So, so does that just mean straight insight check and I get surface thoughts, or just advantage on the insight check?
I'll give you advantage if you're reading his surface thoughts in the insight check, certainly.
Okay.
All right, so you cast the spell. Your insight is an 18. Let me roll against that.
Well, it's 22 advantage.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. His deception would not be super great, I think. Okay. All right. Pretty sure he's gonna fail. He rolls a 6. I don't think he gets any advantage on that.
Oh.
So it's just a 6, I think. Wait. No. Yeah. Okay. So he is lying. You can tell that he's lying because you're looking at his surface thoughts, and his surface thoughts are, yes, I could basically, but that would be a bad idea. Like, and so instead of just it's not, it's kind of complicated because he's not trying to deceive you, but it's just like, he's going to tell you why, like if you ask kind of thing. But it's just like, it's not, that would not be the right thing to do to change them back. I could do that theoretically. It would be very difficult. That's a waste of resources.
Interesting. Okay.
That's what his surface thoughts are. Okay.
Sorry, that was a huge tangent. My bad.
Yeah. How does he respond to asking if he can retrieve the statue that she turned into?
What statue?
He says no, I think, out loud. He said no.
The statue.
Oh, I thought that was
Oh,
in
if he can
relation
retrieve,
to
sorry.
bringing-
Yeah,
retrieve, not revive.
Retrieve the statue of. You're talking about Seraphina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Avaachai's next. Don't worry.
Yeah. He shakes his head. He says, "I would have to locate it first."
We know the location of it.
Where.
I could describe it for you, or I could just put an image in your head.
I'll take the image.
Okay. I guess I'll shift the mind link to him and transmit a mental image of what Vash remembers of the location.
Okay.
And the stone casing, gives him a location and then the same thing but with the stone casing around it.
It turns out it's actually very close because it's just on the other side of the the grass maze.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of close. It's kind of far away if you think about it. It's a different plane of existence.
It's weird.
Close, but so far away.
Yeah, he focuses his attention, and he says, "Just a moment. Let's check and see if it's still there." He walks. He gets back up and he walks over towards the pool. Let's see here. And he's gonna scry.
I hope we're not gonna make him use all of his spell slots.
Okay. You can particular creature. You can do it on locations though too with scrying, right? I think you can. It's a creature. I mean, does it count if it's a corpse? I don't know.
Corpses are objects.
Okay.
But I think you can scry on objects too with scry. So
I thought so, but it says
I thought
a particular target is a particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of existence as you. So you can't scry for it.
I think it's farther down
Uh,
in that description.
You can see and hear particular.
Instead of targeting a creature, you can choose a location you have seen before as the target of the spell. Okay, so just a location or a creature, not an object.
But it still has to be on the same plane of existence, right?
Yes. He would probably know that before he tries to cast it.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, so I think he just stands up and he says, "Just a moment, I'll check," and then he vanishes.
Do I lose my mind link?
Yeah.
With him?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Because your mind link doesn't work across planes of existence, right?
No.
Yeah.
And not very far either. So
yeah, so I think you lose the mind link immediately. So you guys
that was unexpected.
Sort of alone here for a minute or two. What do you all want to do? While he's gone.
I wasn't expecting that.
Is it fair to say if I don't want Agape to hear something I say in the mind link, he can't, or does he just have that ability to listen in?
Let's check and
see.
He
did it once before, and it was very annoying.
Let's check and let's make sure we know for sure how this thing works. So, Agape has telepathy. And how does the book define telepathy? I think they can listen in if they have telepathy, but let me check. Nope. Monsters telepathy. Telepathy is a magical ability that allows a monster to communicate mentally with another creature within a specified range. Contacted creature doesn't need to share language with the monster to communicate in this way with it, but it must be able to understand at least one language. A creature without telepathy can receive and respond to telepathic messages, but can't initiate or terminate telepathic conversation. Telepathic monster doesn't need to see a contacted creature and can end the telepathic contact at any time. The contact is broken as soon as the two creatures are no longer within range of each other, or if the telepathic monster contacts a different creature within range. A telepathic monster can initiate or terminate telepathic conversation without using an action. but while the monster is incapacitated, it can't initiate contact, and any current contact is terminated. Creature within the area of anti-magic field or any other location where magic doesn't function can't send or receive telepathic messages. So basically, like, he can turn it on and off at will, and you can't really do anything about it unless you're a telepath.
Okay. Well, I am sort of. But...
Do you have telepathy?
No.
Then you're not a telepath. I think that's how
I speak telepathically,
You
so
do, yeah.
he's a telepath.
The mind link is a different thing, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Like, mechanically.
Then I will. Does Agape stay where he's at?
He does. Like, he doesn't panic or anything. Like, he starts kicking and like neighing really loud. No, he's just standing there.
He was lying, by the way. He can bring Seraphina back. Ash just says that out loud.
Okay.
Maybe he can and just doesn't think it's worth his time. I mean, we didn't just meet him, and we just started asking him for a whole bunch of stuff.
What have we asked for?
If we
Just to
could,
have a...
if we could bring Seraphina here.
That's not all. I wouldn't call that a whole bunch of stuff, but sure.
I mean, we have a list.
We do. I understand that we do intend to ask for a few things, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. Where the hell's the statue? Where'd he go?
Oh, he's over there.
By the
I don't
hallway.
see him. Did he not follow us?
I'm waiting my turn. I'm patient.
He's still
Right.
menace.
You do that. I just find it interesting that he would lie to us right off the bat. Was my point. Shot, you go.
Why
sit on the
don't
throne.
you ask him why?
It's not anything different than when you usually do, Vash.
Yeah. You
And
lie
you
all the
guys
time.
usually don't like that.
Well, I'm just
Are you
saying he's
still-
being conscious of us just as much as we're being conscious of him.
Shaw's looking around.
We shall
there.
see.
Um,
Did Shaw sit on the throne?
Shah
Or
tried
you
to
just, like,
touch the
looking at it?
throne.
oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Did anything happen?
Yeah. Shaw,
The way you asked that.
Shaw, you're full HP. Are you like 100% recovered? You have all your spells
Yeah.
out? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you just
Yeah.
like when you touch the throne, you just feel comfortable, I guess, and like a positive feeling, like very content and like nourished, I suppose is the way to put it.
Fully zen.
Be a very useful item.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to put that in your bag of holding.
Yeah, it's
Huge
a giant stone throne.
Quite a nice place he
And
has.
the guards don't seem to care that Shaw like goes up and touches it.
No, they don't like. No,
Cool.
They don't seem to mind. These two
Shalom.
guards kind of make their way over to the part of the room where he was last in. I mean, assuming you guys don't want to do anything else, after a minute or two, he does reappear.
He has a lot of gold.
I
Is
think-
that gold?
Yeah, it's gold and
It is gold.
jewels. If you zoom in and look at it, there's even like some swords in there and some armor pieces. There's platinum and jewels and stuff like that too. So
I
Were you
think
gonna say something,
Orlan,
Ella?
while they're waiting, will ask Agape if he can wake up Fea for her. please?
yeah. He'll heal Faya. Let's see here. 2d8 plus 2. So Faya recovers 7 HP. Hey, that's
Oh,
exactly
Full
nice.
enough.
HP.
Yep. Okay. So after a few minutes, there's a sound, and he reappears. And he says, he shakes his head, and he says, the statue wasn't there. You make an insight check on him if you like, Vash.
Sure.
He's telling the truth this time. Orlan, you can't tell.
No, Orlan's bad at this with this guy.
Was the stone encasing
He nods. He says the stone was still there. The statue is not
intact?
inside. He shakes his head. Yes.
Ash looks annoyed.
Maybe our good fairy dragon friend knows where she's at.
Oh, that little.
He kind of smirks slightly and he says, mischievous creatures.
Mischievous.
Especially this
That's
one.
one word.
Since we can't find her statue, we have another friend turned statue inside your tower.
The priest, you mean?
And we kind of need him.
He like flicks a wrist. He holds out his hand and like flicks his wrist. And Avaachai's statue appears right there beside you guys. And like it appears, I think there's like it appears and it kind of like topples slightly before it like comes to a rest. It doesn't fall over, but it just kind of like topples back and forth slightly, and then it settles on the ground.
It's a little wobbly because he was standing on uneven ground when he got turned.
Yeah. And he's like, this is the one you're speaking of, yes?
Yeah.
It is.
And you want me to cure him for you?
If you can. He's kind of important. He's been keeping us alive when situations get sticky.
And he looks.
He's another servant of death, and he followed that Tianchi.
He like puts his hand up to his chin and kind of like strokes his beard for a moment, and he says, "Well, then why not heal him yourself?"
I've said that we could.
And you didn't.
Well, I have not, because we're operating on limited resources, and we were promised or told you may be able to help. We're still trying to figure out what sort of help that might be.
He kind of like watches Vash while he talks. He just stares at him kind of intently. And he says, everything comes at a cost. It's just whether you're willing to pay it. No matter.
What would be the cost?
He flicks his hand, and Avaachai changes back to not being a statue anymore. And so he comes back, and there's like, and he like stumbles down to the ground. He's like catching his breath. He looks up. What happened?
Orlan's gonna jump up and give him a hug.
Okay.
Unfortunate
Gasp
circumstances
when
in the
Orlan
fight.
does this.
What?
Go on.
You
It's
got
like
turned to
he's gonna-
stone, Avaachai.
What were you saying, Sha'ah?
Sha'ah gasps the moment like Orlan jumps at Avaachai.
He kind of like he hugs you. He hugs back when you go to hug him and stuff, and he kind of like reacts to you guys, but he seems to be in sort of shock. He he hugs you quickly, and then he like falls down to his knees, and he starts weeping into his hands. He's just like he's just like weeping, just like uncontrollably into his hands.
Thank you for that, Ubermaw.
Yeah, thank you. What's wrong, Avaachai?
He says, I saw her. And he like looks up at you, and there's like tears streaming down his face, and he's like, she was so beautiful. And he's just like weeping uncontrollably.
Who did you see?
He says, it's Seraphina. She's changed. And then Ubermaw cuts him off, and he says, ascended.
What's that mean?
Well, it means that she may be taking the place of an arcana.
Is there an open
Arcana?
slot?
No, theoretically there wouldn't be. It is concerning.
Did she create an open slot?
She hasn't.
Orlan doesn't say as laughingly as Ella does.
He says, I suspect that a slot may be opening soon, and she would be the first candidate to fill that spot. He looks at Avaachai, kind of studies him for a moment. He walks over to him, and he says, who is your patron? And Avaachai like he's like trying to stop crying, and he's like, my patron's death. And he cocks his head to the side, Ubermaw does, and he takes a step back, and he says, are you certain of this? And yeah, he was just like making sure. And Avaachai says, I am. And he like points at this pillar here, like Ubermaw does, and he says, prove it. Cast something. And Avaachai is like stands up. Like, okay, I will do this. And he goes to cast a spell. You guys have seen him cast many times. He tries to cast Sacred Flame. So he chants the words, he traces the same runes in the air. Nothing happens. And then he has this confused look on his face, and he says, no. It's not right. And he reaches into his bag, and he pulls out his prayer book, and he starts flipping through it. And, he seems like satisfied by what he's seeing. He like lands on a specific page, and he seems like content with what he's reading, and he tries again. He chants the words, and he traces the rune in the air, and nothing happens.
His shoulder and goes, that's alright, maybe you're just tired from waking up.
No, that's not it. Something has changed. And Ubermaw takes a step back over to like his corner he's been sort of hanging out in, and he says, it seems your arcana has abandoned you.
You said there may be a slot opening up soon, and she's the likely successor. Does that mean Death is going to die?
He he makes a face, and he says, unlikely. I'm not sure exactly what this means. It's not something that typically happens. But I would say, at the very least, perhaps Death is planning to vacate the throne. Or to leave heaven somehow.
I think we've heard of one other Arcana that's done that before.
Who?
Do you know all this stuff?
Like, it
How are
looks-
you aware
looks
of all
like-
the happenings
Yeah, I
in
don't
heaven?
think Odayn told us any of that.
Yeah, I don't
I thought he
think
did, because he had a very open conversation with Melora right in front of us, I thought.
That was
Was it?
in the
I
room.
thought- Yeah, I thought that
Oh,
was
okay.
in their
My bad.
private room.
Sorry, Odayn. What'd you say?
I was, how are you aware of all the going ons of heaven?
He says, I'm not. This is theorizing. I know some of how things work. But to know the goings on, we should bring the person here that is responsible for you being here. Perhaps he can answer some questions.
Oh, I know how to call him. Nurnum, come here.
Yeah, like,
Vash just
Don't
rose
worry.
his temple.
You just have to call
Wait.
him. He comes randomly.
He can't come here, though.
How do you know?
He said that. That's why he couldn't come to the Feywilds with us.
But he was there in the Feywilds.
yeah, he astral projected himself to the Feywild to talk to you guys. So like he
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
he can't physically come to the Feywild. But also you're not really in the Feywild
Right.
right now.
But we don't. But Odayn doesn't know that he can't astral project himself
yeah.
here.
He
Um,
said that you were hidden away, Ubermaw,
he nods.
hiding from the Arcana.
He nods. He says, "Yes, I have some protections on this place."
Your calls may be in vain, Odayn.
All right. Then how do you propose we call him here?
He suggested it. I assume he has an idea.
Yeah, he he looks kind of up at the ceiling and he holds a hand out. And he makes a motion that's similar to like when you zoom into something on your phone, right? So you're like doing the squeezing and separating thing. He like chants a word, and you hear him say Nurnum's name, and then Nurnum suddenly kind of appears from. He kind of is like he doesn't seem to just like appear, like apparate and like teleport, but it's like he's pulled from the direction that Ubermaw's facing. So he's like pulled from somewhere past the ceiling towards you all, and he kind of like lands on the floor. He's standing, like he doesn't like fall down or anything, but he just
Is
sort
he
of
like corporeal?
he is
Like
yeah.
it's actually him?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
boy.
there's no thread on him or anything. And he looks around kind of confused, and then he goes, "Damn it, Ubermaw, you should give me some warning before you do something like that." And Ubermaw says, "We were hoping you could clear some things up for us." And then he like looks around at the group of you guys, and he says, "Where's Seraphina?" And does anybody say?
Apparently, she has ascended.
He looks around, and he sees like Lyram over here in the background, just like being polite, minding his business, waiting his turn. And he says, "Cleus." Like, where
Didn't
is
make it.
Orlan
No.
pulls out a
Claes is the
bottle
one
of
they
ashes.
let die.
Yeah. Orlan pulls a bottle of ashes out of her bag, and holds them up.
Yeah, Nurnham's head kind of bows slightly, and like the hat, blocks even more of his face. And he looks over to Vash, and he says out loud, "Did you get the message?"
I did.
What message?
I shall
And-
just look at him.
It seems we have a plan in place, something to work on. He kind of looks over at Vash again. He says, "Are we in agreement then?"
We are.
Wait.
And Ubermaw is just kind of like staring at him. And Nurnham says, "We're going to." He kind of like, he doesn't say it. He's like motioning like with his head and his body. Really, he's kind of like, we're going to.
He's
be our-"
motioning to Ubermaw?
like to everyone.
Or
Like
Oh.
he can't say it because they could be watching, right? So he's
don't, you idiot.
he's he kind of stops and thinks better of it, and he says, "We have a plan in place. This isn't the place to talk about it." And
I agree.
Ubermaw says, "I think I understand, and you need my help for this." And Nurnham kind of like nods. And Ubermaw looks at the rest of you all.
Odayn looked between Vash and Ubermaw and Nurnham, and he's super confused. What are you guys
Orlan
talking
too.
about?
The first part of that plan is making allies. Allies like Melora here, and possibly Oberon if we can save him.
Yeah, Nurnham like he like points up and like shakes his finger like, "Yeah, that's true. That's number one."
But you're gonna need help persuading them. So how are we gonna persuade them if we don't know what this plan is?
Discuss that if or when we actually accomplish it.
So you're going to tell us the plan after we've already finished the plan.
Well, the plan is to save Oberon as I thought it always was. Or shall we change that plan?
Oh yeah, I thought
I'm
you said that.
undecided.
I thought you said that Oberon was only part one.
Yeah.
Correct?
Ubermaw like grabs his collar and he tugs it down like a couple inches. You can see just like tattoos, like runes all over his chest. And then he lets go, and his like collar comes back up, and he says, "I can speak freely. It's my belief." And he looks at
How
Nurnham.
How much of those runes did I see when he did it?
I mean, a good chunk of them. They're like all over his skin. Like any.
Can I memorize whatever I can?
Yeah, make an Arcana check.
I'll use my inspiration.
Okay.
That wouldn't matter.
Is a crit?
Hey!
All right. Yeah. Just write it down that you memorized. You rolled a crit 20 on memorizing runes on Ubermaw's flesh. Just write it down. I'll let you know. Like they're protection magic-y, so I guess abjuration.
Yeah, I mean, context from what he said is they probably help keep him from being watched in some way. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he says, I think what Nurnum is saying is, he kind of like chuckles, and he says, the tower needs to be let loose again. How bad is it? And he's like looking at Nurnum, and Nurnum doesn't budge, like he doesn't flinch or anything. And then Ubermaw says, bad then. So are we going to be killing all of the Arcana? And then Nurnum doesn't flinch. And then he says, I guess I'll take that as a yes. So Oberon first. And then Nurnum nods.
Not to kill, to save.
To save.
Oh.
Ubermaw clarifies, to save.
Oberon is not an Arcana.
And shortly after, he says, he kind of pauses. He says, well, that's one plan, to cut them off from the garden again, I suppose. Slim odds, though, that it works.
Is it safe to discuss it here? With him here, and he'll nod it. Vash will nod at Nurnum.
Perhaps. And Nurnum looks at Ubermaw, and he says, you never should have brought me here. What were you thinking? And Ubermaw kind of makes a face. Make an insight check.
Who?
Anybody who's looking, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go for it. Oh, that's not with advantage. It's 12.
Odayn.
You go.
So it kind of makes sense that Odayn picks up on this. You'll see why. So the face he makes is like unbridled cockiness. He is so full of himself that he thinks he's more powerful than the Arcana, that there's no possible way that they could outsmart him or outmaneuver him, and that he's already thought of every eventuality, and there's no way that they could see past this. And you recognize the folly in that. You can tell he's thinking that, because you have felt that same feeling before, and been wrong, right? And that's what it is. So he makes that face, and it's almost like a grand smirk, smile.
Was that Ubrimah or Nurnum?
Ubermaw. And he kind of like rolls his eyes, and then he shoots a look at Agape, and as soon as he does, the face he was making is gone. Back to being completely stoic and placid. And he says, we're safe here, I think.
That's reassuring.
Okay, well, we're safe here, but our main concern really was if you could help us find a way to get to where we need to go so that we can actually revive Oberon.
The Feywilds seem unfriendly to us. It was slow going.
Yeah, he nods, and he says, the teleportation room is set up already for you. But should we take a look at what you'll be walking into beforehand?
That would probably be a good idea.
Sure would.
And he looks at Nurnum, who's just like staring at him. Vash, you probably would recognize this because you've talked with Nurnum quite a bit. the look on his face is like real concern. Like he hides it well, but like he's really genuinely concerned that this is not good. Like he shouldn't be here. Something's wrong. This was a huge mistake. And yeah.
Does he need to be here?
Well,
I'll gesture at Nernum.
Yeah. Ubermaw says, didn't you all have questions for him about Heaven, your friend?
Oh yeah, what? Nernum, what happened to Seraphina?
Nernum kind of pauses. He says, I don't know what happened to Seraphina, but there is something going on in Heaven.
Is Death dying?
He shakes his head. No, armies are lining up. It seems civil
Armies
war.
of who?
Death.
Against?
Against, well, judgment. For certain, we think there's already been an attack.
I thought they solved the issues. That's why we lost Fee.
Nernum shakes his head. Their issues will never be solved unless we solve it for them.
What a bunch of children.
Can I ask, how is Avaachai reacting to all this news that we're trying to kill the Arcana?
He looks concerned, but there's almost like a sense of ease about him. Like, it's a strange sort of calmness. Like, he's also trying to deal with the fact that he can't use magic anymore. You know, like there's a lot of stuff he's trying to process.
Yeah, he was just told that he was abandoned by death.
Yeah. And so there's almost like a weird sense of calm. Like he also recently had a religious experience that we haven't really gotten into yet. On his own. That's a story for another day. He does seem like in shock. But he's taking everything in stride. Like he's relatively calm. He's keeping himself together, his composure, and he's just sort of paying attention to everything everyone is saying. Basically, like he's stopped crying, but there's still like his face is still wet, kind of. You know, well, he's like
right.
He's got his composure. Yeah, Ubermaw steps over towards the pool. And he says, should we take a look then? And he like waves a hand, and you guys can see all the the first thing that happens is that you probably would notice immediately is the door to the room disappears. It becomes a wall. So there's that. The other thing that happens is like there are some windows kind of around the room, and they sort of like elongate, and then you realize that like through the window, maybe they were sort of like opaque before, where you couldn't see through them, maybe like fogged up or by some magic means. But they're clear. They become clear, and through the window you see like a view of the Feywild from really high up in the air. But it seems like a similar location to where you guys had climbed that first set of stairs. It's just like really high up in the air. But you can see it all around, like the flesh corruption, everything. And he like chants a few words. The lights in the room dim, and they sort of focus on this pool of water in front of you all. And I thought I thought daylight mode was on, but it is not. Okay. Yeah, and you guys can see an image start to take shape in the water. And here's what we see. We see the remains of a very, very large tree as the water sort of like ripples out from the center and then stills into an image. We see like the remains of this like large tree that has like fallen over. There's flesh corruption all over it, growing up it, flesh vines spreading out from it. And then the camera starts to pan out and kind of zoom out, and we see that much of the landscape is the same. And then we see this like landing, this like large sort of constructed like floor that's made of like a gold looking material, like this long, almost kind of like a runway. Like somebody built this large like parking lot out of gold out in the middle of the wilderness. The camera starts to pan over that, and we see lots of bodies as the camera zooms out. We see lots of movement. A lot of them purple skin, tentacles coming out of their mouths. They're liars, much of them. We see a few odds in there. Like there's a few that are maybe a little tall, a little big. Maybe we see a few of the machine-looking things as the camera sort of like pans out and zooms by. At the end of this runway, there seems to be some kind of like a platform or like an altar. There's something where it's built out of gold and has stairs going up two sides and sort of like meet in the center on this landing. And on this landing, there's like a golden looking like semicircle. It's from the bottom up. It's almost like a half circle coming up from the bottom. And there's seems to be like people assembling down there. Ubermaw is just like standing here focusing. He's sort of like got his eyes closed and he's like holding out a hand. He's like concentrating on viewing this thing. And the lens that we're watching through the pool kind of like zooms in. We see all these people lining up. We see like one particularly intimidating looking mind flayer like settle in the crowd, like scooch some others out of the way. These glowing like white bluish eyes, this pale tentacles that are extremely long coming off of it, sort of like almost like drifting over the other liars in its general vicinity. We see another one step forward who's like particularly corrupted looking, like open wounds on its face and like lopsided. And then it turns its head to the side as the view like zooms in on it, and we see a human face on the other side of its face. And we recognize the face as that of Igrovi. Now, like fully transforming into one of these things. The camera pans over again, like farther towards this altar, and we see a man step out of the crowd, draped in gold, just the purest, cleanest gold armor. He doesn't carry like a weapon or anything. He's got blonde hair, elven features, pointed ears, very clean, like blue, ocean blue eyes. And he sort of like steps forward out of the crowd and turns back and looks at all of them kind of stoically, just like taking all the people in. The crowd starts to form, and there's maybe hundreds of these things. They're sort of like taking. There's no seating area, but they're all sort of like lining up to watch whatever show is going on at this like altar area. And the guy in the gold steps forward and kind of takes his place at the front. There's also we see like a large, like dark colored and thin and tall mind flayer. This one is very lanky and tall. It's covered in black, like metallic, like appendages. that sort of like sprout out from its back and sort of like gesture towards others around it. Its face has like a helmet on that doesn't like. You can tell from the shape of it that it's like a mind flayer helmet, but it's like made of like technology. So we see like lights and like spinning pieces of machinery on it, and like gas being vented from it, and that kind of thing. And the guy in the gold steps forward to this altar. He reaches out into the air and plucks a golden spear from the air, and then he like brings it down towards the altar and touches the landing with this spear. The semicircle like flickers like dropping a stone into a pond. The air in the middle of it like sinks in and then returns and like ripples and like makes like a static plane, like a portal. And they're all sort of standing there just watching this expectantly. And we see the view of the the like lens that we're watching through focuses on the guy in the gold. So we're watching him, and sort of almost off to the side, just out of frame, is this like this portal that's opened up. There's like light coming out of it, and it's like shining on all of the liars as they're all just like taking it in. And there's even some of them reacting to it. Like there's some of them like stretching out their tentacles and like holding out their limbs, trying to take in as much of the light as possible as it like ripples and opens. And they're all seeing something. We just see like a bright shining light coming out of this thing. And then there's like a shadow that falls on the guy in the gold as some figures step out from the other side of this portal. And there's sort of like a flicker again of that portal, and it goes static and disappears. And we see first a man step forward. He's holding something in his hands. We can't quite get a look at it, but he's like got both of his hands like bundled up to his chest. Very tall, thin human, very pale skin, gaunt. He's got dark bags under his eyes, like a bald head. He's dressed in like fairly fine black and gold robes. And he steps forward, and we see the guy that's dressed in the gold, step toward him, and they kind of like meet. And the tall, thin, gaunt guy hands him the thing that he's holding in his hands against his chest. He like hands it to him. It's like a bundle of cloth. And we see the guy in the gold like smile, and he takes this bundle that he's holding, and he holds it against his own chest, and he looks down at it and kind of grins. And then we see him like hold up a finger, like push it through the cloth, and then like do something. We don't see, but we hear like the cooing of a baby. So we hear like this baby kind of like just like being uncomfortable as he like opens the cloth, and then he grins. And then we see him like grab something, and he holds it out and drops it, and we see this tiny little trumpet hit the ground. The camera focuses on this tiny little trumpet that just sort of like falls and bounces along the gold. The trumpet's silver and like skitters along the gold and comes to a rest. The guy holding the baby, now dressed in gold, turns back around, starts to walk towards the crowd. The mind flayer that we recognize as a Grovey steps forward towards the thin, gaunt man, and he raises a hand and puts it on his shoulder. And then the gaunt man kind of like looks down and closes his eyes, and then a Grovey drives a dagger through his throat. And there's like and he like just leaves it there, and he lets go of the guy's shoulder, and the guy like stumbles off to the side, and there's like blood pouring out of him, just all over the ground, and he just like he falls down to his knees and then chokes up a few spurts of blood, and then goes limp on the ground, falls prone, goes limp. Agrovi just stands there looking at this other figure that has come out behind, from the portal behind that guy that just died. This other figure strodes into frame for the first time, and we see, first we see what it's riding, this skeletal horse. It's bleached bone, so like really dried bone. It just sort of like steps forward. As it does, the horse's like front hooves start to just like scatter, like it falls apart, basically hooves first, until like it's just scattered bones all over this gold platform. The person riding it is still standing there wearing their golden armor, as they sort of like come off the horse as it starts to fall apart. And then they keep stepping forward, and as they do, the armor starts to fall off in chunks. This dark black and gold armor starts to corrode and strip off of its body. And underneath it, we see just pure shadow, just a being of pure darkness that sort of starts to emerge from this suit of armor, and it grows as well. We get like a cut to the guy in gold who had taken the baby over to the crowd, and we see him hand it to someone in the crowd, another mind flare, probably the one with the very long tentacles. It's white with the glowing eyes, and we see him hand it to him, but then like we just get a zoom in of that mind flare's face as we see like its tentacles open up, and then there's a crunching sound, and we see like blood splatter. The baby's cooing stops. And then the guy who was dressed in gold walks back up towards this shadowy figure that is starting to take form at the front of this altar, and he holds a hand out like to shake hands. This being of pure shadow reaches out and they shake hands. We see tentacles from the gold guy come out of his wrist and start to wrap around the shadow and like work its way up the arm of the shadow. And then he looks directly at the camera. And the camera like zooms in. And Nurnum is like pale watching this. So Ubermaw is watching, like he kind of intently. Everyone's like watching this scene unfold intently. Nurnum is extremely pale. Like he turns towards you, Vash, and he goes, "No." And then Ubermaw doesn't even like react. He pulls up his other hand, and he flicks it, and Nurnum vanishes the same way he appeared. He probably says like, Ubermaw probably says, "Go now," and then Nurnum just like disappears. The guy in the gold is now looking at the camera, so he's looking right at us while he's like shaking hands with this shadowy creature. And then he goes, "I see you." And then the pool of water just splashes out everywhere. Ubermaw starts convulsing, like he starts foaming at the mouth and going into like a seizure, and he collapses on the ground. And he's like shaking, like he's just like, and there's like foam coming out of his mouth. Everyone in the room starts to panic. The lights all go dark. The room becomes utter darkness. And we see like, and we zoom in on like Ubermaw, who's like shaking, convulsing on the floor, and then he goes still. And from the darkness, from the shadows in the room, we see a form start to coalesce. And it looks a little bit like this. Let me give that its aura. So that shows. There we go. And so like all the shadows in the room start to pour into this. As death itself breaches the scrying and enters the room with you all. And that's when everything
Sha'ah.
goes to shit. And I think that's where we end the session.
Uh-oh.
I think maybe that's where we end the session. Unless like it's 9:30, like unless you guys want to start this right now. I think we end the
I
I'm
think
session.
fine
we
either
could
way, but
start
I don't see a possible
combat.
way where we kill death itself in time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the end of the episode. Yeah.
I feel bad for Lyram. He didn't even get to ask his question.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm just
wait.
enjoying the
Thank
fight.
you
Oh.
for being patient.
Yeah, I wanted to give you guys time to do your things, but like we started to go down this road, and I was like, "All right, well, this thing is gonna happen." like I don't know what to tell you. The thing's gonna happen. So how do you guys feel about today's session? Do you guys know what this thing is? Does anybody know what this thing
Bad
is?
news.
No, I'm like as creature wise, no idea.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. It's a pretty iconic creature. Kind
I have
of.
an idea, but I don't think there's a fifth. I don't think there's a 5e version of this thing. Is there?
Yeah.
Is there? Okay,
Yeah,
then
there
that's
is.
not what I was thinking of.
It's
I have
bad.
no.
It's real bad. It's a real bad. But we'll find out exactly how bad next session.
Is
So we
it-
see. Go ahead.
Is it pure darkness right now in the
Yeah,
room?
like all the lights in the room went out. When like the image was disrupted on the pool. So like when the water
those-
splashed.
Our spirit turns on.
Yeah. The water like splashes out from the pool and kind of goes in all directions once they like look directly at the scrying focus that Ubermaw was using. They look directly at it and notice him. Ubermaw dies immediately. Like just he's dead.
Healing word? Anyone?
No, he's dead. Like
Okay.
he's dead. Like this thing kills you, that's it.
Fine, revivify.
Yeah, it's
I
like
think it ate his soul. I don't think we could bring him back.
you can try. You can try. I'll show you what happens. But like as soon as he dies, like the instant his body goes still, all of the like walls and stuff start flickering, and like the Feywild you were seeing outside starts to flicker, kind of in and out of existence. The people in the room start screaming. The guards and stuff like that start screaming. And-
Assuming anger, not fear.
yeah. I mean, this thing's pretty scary too. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it makes you fear or anything like that. No, I don't think it does. But I mean, this is bad news. But we'll find out. We'll find out next session what happens with you guys.
I thought the baby was gonna be like become a big bad to kill
guys-
the baby.
Do you guys know?
I think
Do you guys
baby
know what?
was a trade.
Yeah. Do you guys know what the
Yeah.
baby was?
Was it Seraphina? The
no.
ascended Seraphina as a baby?
The baby was.
Okay, good.
The baby was Judgment.
Wasn't it Timothy?
What do you mean as a baby, huh?
Well, it is.
Oh.
It is when it's pulled out of heaven. Like it was. They. So like what we just saw happen was.
Something just ascended to death. Like the old death got killed, right?
The old death left heaven. They made a deal with the flesh. They were leaving heaven and make a deal with the flesh. They brought Judgment with them, and then they sacrificed Judgment to the flesh.
And so was the old death the one that got stabbed in the throat?
No, that was the Bodhisattva. Agrovi killed him because he's taking his place.
Cool.
And death is now dethroned. So death did leave the throne. Like it's not in heaven anymore. Like that was the ritual that symbolized death, like vacating heaven. So now there's an open spot. There's also an open spot for Judgment too, coincidentally, because Judgment's now dead because they pulled Judgment out of heaven. They can then kill it. Now that may mean that you can kill death too. Now that it's out of heaven. But we'll see. We'll see if you guys make it that far. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a bad time, guys. It's gonna be a bad time. Oh yeah, there's one more thing that happens as this thing fills the room. All of these guys, all of the guards drop dead instantly.
Dang.
Oh, come on. God
Yeah.
damn it.
They were screaming, but now they're dying.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was screaming, now
Is
it's
it apparent
silent.
why they all die?
I mean, death has entered the arena.
Is there any reason we aren't dead?
I mean, maybe. We'll see. Maybe there's something a little bit different about you guys. Most of you have like more powerful things backing you than these guys did. These guys are nobodies. You remember like way back when Seraphina like reappeared as Seraphina after leaving as Fee, and I was thinking about having like when she reappeared, having it just like kill people. I made you all make a save, and those who failed were like moved to tears and like crying and stuff. And like fell to their knees and started weeping and praying uncontrollably. It was a similar thing to that, except for basically those who failed died instantly here, and it was sort of like it's sort of basically that's what's happening. It's like
Just
an
look at
area effect
Agape.
thing. Agape is not dead. No, he doesn't die.
Yay.
He will be shortly.
Yeah, he probably will be shortly. I mean, most of you guys probably will be shortly. Let's be honest. This is death we're talking about.
Thanks for the confidence.
I'm just kidding. You guys always like make it past the thing I didn't think you'd make it past. That's just you guys make a habit of doing that. So
I have a useless Avaachai. Does Avaachai survive or does he die?
Avaachai doesn't die yet. He also has something pretty powerful looking after him, to be fair. Just not death, because death is trying to kill him right now.
Seraphina.
Yeah. Yeah. If he survives, maybe I'll make
Wait, so
him...
if this
The newest Arcana.
is death, does that mean Seraphina hasn't ascended to the role of death?
Well, it means that, like, as soon as that thing came through the portal, like, Seraphina could take that throne, basically, because she's, like, become enlightened or whatever. That's what the turning gold thing was.
So confused. Is this the original death? This is the one that was the Death Arcana?
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Yeah. This is the one that was riding the horse.
This is not whatever is replacing him. Got it.
Correct. Yeah. So we'll see if you guys can kill death next session at level 12. Everybody.
If we kill death, then we're invincible.
I mean, you would think, right? Like you would think.
Ramblinman, are we just hand waving it and saying that Odayn did do the meditation, or
Yeah, you did.
I thought
You did the meditation, Odayn.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You did the meditation. Vash got his potions. You did the meditation. There we go. Now we got official death card on the screen. So yeah, you got your stuff. Yeah, let's see if you guys can take down death at level 12 next session. Everybody take 3 XP for RP today. Everyone take 3 XP for creative stuffs. And then if we get through this combat next session.
And sorry, Lyram. I almost said Calais, and I was like, that's wrong. Can he get experience for patience?
Sure, I'll give him an extra 3 XP for patience. Sure.
I'm close now.
I was hoping that might push you over.
I was kind of hoping it would too. All right. How close are you?
I'm 4 off.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Well, that's at least 2 more things. So the most you can get in a session is 12. So even if I gave him another 3, like He'd still be 1 away. So next session.
If I remember
survive.
correctly, you said that the entrance to this room disappeared.
It did, yeah.
So we don't have anywhere to run to.
But yeah, I mean, kind of yes and no. Like the walls are
Fight or die.
yes and no. Like the walls are flickering in and out of existence. Like some of you can teleport and shit. Like if you can figure out a way out of this room, then you can figure out a way out of this room.
I guess who's got dimension door? 3 of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
I don't know if Ishu replaced his for something today. I don't know.
Oh, right.
I can't remember. Oh, no, he got rid of Hold Monster, huh?
I think so. I think that's what it
so.
was. Let me check.
Yeah. So he should still have it.
Correct. He got rid of Hold Monster. Yeah, he still has
But
dimension.
his is somewhat useless because he can. Well, I guess he could take Lyram because he's the same size.
Yeah.
Lyram can take himself, though.
Good, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like leave Agape here to die because you guys know how to get.
That's
out.
He
fine.
can teleport too,
Yeah,
can he?
he can. Yeah, he can. Yeah.
He'll be fine. In fact,
Now that
So
he doesn't have
Orlan has
powers?
Dimension Door?
Do you what?
I thought he doesn't have powers anymore.
Who? Agape?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, she said
sorry.
Agape, not Avaachai.
I
Yeah,
was
we
thinking
also have
Avaachai.
Avaachai, and Vash doesn't have Dimension Door. Melora doesn't have Dimension Door. I don't think Odayn does.
Odayn has dimension door.
Do you?
I mean,
Okay.
Avaachai has a mace, but he's only got like a +4 to hit. So like, I don't know how much good Avaachai is going to be right now.
And then there's Sha'ah.
Yeah.
too bad he's not of elven blood. I could loan him my lightning rod.
We'll see what happens. You guys have been locked in a room with death. Who will come out alive? Probably you guys. That's usually the way it goes, right? But we'll find out for sure next session. Hopefully you don't all die. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing players. And we'll be back next week with episode 63. That is it. You guys want to... Oh, shout-outs. Check us out on twitch.tv/RamblinmanTV every Monday night for this show at 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. New show is coming Tuesday nights. Show's called Broken. We'll be airing at 8 p.m. Central Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Also, come back every other Friday for Unknown New Orleans at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And if you like that show, check out the DM's channel, twitch.tv/awisemanonce. Check out the channel on YouTube, Ramblinman TV, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Minds, on all the things. Check out the link in the description for Vash artwork. There is the artist's deviant art page for Vash's artwork. There's the artist page for Orlan's design on the virtual avatar. There's all kinds of good stuff down there, so check it all out. That's all I got. You guys got anything you want to shout out? Is there anything I'm missing?
Did you put out the teaser yet?
Should we end with the teaser? We can.
For your new game?
I haven't put it
Yeah.
out yet, but I did.
Is it ready?
I did make some corrections to it. It's kind of ready. I can.
Do you want to play that on stream and then that'll be
Yeah,
the
I
outro
think
to
that
the
would
stream?
be cool.
Yeah, I can
And
do
then you
that.
can leave that part in at the end of the video and then premiere the video by itself. Separate.
Yeah, I can do that. Why don't we do that? All right. Anybody else got anything they want to shout out? No? Okay. All right. Here is the teaser. Here's the teaser trailer for the new Broken show. We're going to start it on April 5th. And that'll be our outro. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night. I leapt head first into the black, searching for answers. I found only more questions. My memories fade with each step. I feel a weight, It's so heavy, I find nothing. And here in darkness, I awaken for the first time. My skin is on fire. My lungs ache for air. My body's too weak to stand. To fight back. The pain pierces every thought. Death would be a kindness that I do not deserve. Let me die broken.